date, Advent has solved over 40,000 breathing triangle problems. It's time to put that bully in his place. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment because Advent knows. When you breathe well, you live better. AdventKnows.com. Results may vary.
The traffic on the 5s at 3:05. What's going on, Matt Bear?
All right, Harrison, here it is. Southbound 65 at Edgewood Avenue. That's between 465 and Southport Road. It is a crash blocking all but one lane, okay? The left center lane is open, and that is it. Traffic is squeaking by and causing traffic to stop from Edgewood Avenue back to the 465 interchange and almost to South Keystone Avenue. I would consider using US 31 instead. This has slowed eastbound 465 on the south side after 31 over 265. Downtown stall at the end of the entrance ramp from Meridian Street to northbound 65 ramp is open. It is partially blocked. That stalled van is over on the right side of the ramp, by the way. Please be careful. Inbound 69 crash before 82nd Street on the shoulder. Traffic is stopped from 106th Street down to 96. Front of the line has begun moving. Traffic sponsored by PureTalk.com. Stop overpaying for your cell phone plan. Pure Talk gives you unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month on their 5G network. Dial pound 250 and say keyword switch now to save 50% off your first month. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Mostly sunny and cool today, but it should be quiet. Today's high, 44. Increasing clouds, no problems overnight. We'll dip down to lows into the mid-30s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it!
My name is Nigel. Guy Relford is in. Jason Hammer is out. Guy, how are you?
Man, I'm great. It's a pleasure to be here, as always.
Hey, you know what? I heard at the top of the hour Harrison Silcox talking about this story out of Noblesville. Did you hear that the Noblesville schools, all the classes, all schools in Noblesville canceled today? Some social media threat was made against specifically East Middle School. And, man, that just kind of bummed me out. And probably some students were happy they didn't have to go to school today. I understand that. But, like, considering what happened at West Middle School a few years ago, Guy, with an actual school shooting where, thank God, nobody died, but 2 lives were impacted forever, the teacher and the student. And to go into Thanksgiving weekend with that hanging over your head as a parent living in Noblesville, it just sucks. I don't think that's, in my time and my kids in the Zionsville school system in Boone County, I don't think this kind of thing has really ever happened. Maybe it has, and I'm just not thinking of it, but there's got to be some people with post-traumatic stress syndrome, serious PTSD, after the school shooting years back on Carb Day, if you remember, and now for some knucklehead to make a social media threat. It just sucks. I hope they find it, whoever did it.
And Nigel, when I saw this story, frankly, I'm really glad you approached it from the perspective that you did, because that was exactly my perspective. It was May of 2018, and it was just a horrific event all the way around. You had a beautiful little 13-year-old girl, Ella Whistler was her name, get shot multiple times. A very positive thing that came out of the story is you had an absolutely amazingly heroic teacher, Jason Seaman. Remember this story?
Man, incredible.
Threw a basketball at the guy, charged him while he has a gun, is actively shooting. Jason Seaman charges this guy, and who knows how many lives he saved that day. And then, ultimately he gets prosecuted. He could only be prosecuted, and I don't like to mention school shooters' names for obvious reasons, but he was prosecuted as a juvenile and sent off. A lot of people were frustrated he couldn't be charged as an adult. But since nobody died, he couldn't be charged as an adult because only murder goes down as young as 13. In fact, you can go to 12. But my point in all of that is it was a horrific event. It traumatized the whole community. And I think beyond Noblesville. I live in Zionsville like you do. My office is in Carmel. It's right there.
Way beyond Noblesville. Of course. It reached everybody.
Exactly. My stepkids go to Westfield, or did. And so it traumatized an awful lot of people. And for some knucklehead to think, wow, this is a good day to get it, a day or two free out of school and traumatize a community like that is just as deplorable as it gets.
Were you instrumental on teachers being able to have protection in the classroom?
No.
That-
I mean, there's on a peripheral level, I was kind of involved, but the law in Indiana has been for a long time, for decades, that a school board can authorize anybody they want to carry guns in schools. So, and that's been that way for a long time. In fact, after Sandy Hook, a lot of people were contacting me because they know I'm very active legislatively and said, man, Guy, we need a bill so that schools can arm teachers. And I went, we don't need a bill because the law right now says it's up to the school board. And, so it's local control, which I'm totally okay with. If your local school board decides they want to authorize teachers to carry guns in the classroom on school property, they can do that. What I was involved in, just in terms of supporting the legislation, I testified in favor of it multiple times, is here just 2 years ago, there was a bill that said if a school corporation wants to arm its teachers, the state provides a 40-hour curriculum of training, which is awesome. This is commensurate. This is equivalent, if not superior, to the firearms training that a law enforcement officer gets at the academy. So it's right up there, but it's specialized in terms of the school setting. So there's weapon retention, there's field first aid, there's specific training relative to the school environment, and the state then provided funding for that. And so a school can apply for a grant and get a grant to train its teachers. That's what I was involved in, just kind of on the edges, in that I supported it. The bill was offered and championed by Jim Lucas.
Yep. Well, I for everybody in Noblesville, don't let this ruin your weekend. I'm sure the police are going to trace back to wherever this threat came from, and I hope they throw them in jail. I don't care how old they are.
Well, it's a terroristic threat.
Yeah,
it's a felony.
Course.
I absolutely hope they put them in jail. No question. There's no reason to traumatize a community like that.
Something a little more fun here, and I love this. Elon Musk, Tesla, SpaceX, didn't like the direction Twitter was going in with all the censorship, and so he bought it, right? Like as if he didn't. Elon Musk, the world's richest man, with all these things he's juggling, doesn't have enough, already have enough on his plate. He bought Twitter and turned it into X, and it's a bastion of free speech.
Talk about screw you money.
Oh, no kidding. I think he's worth upwards of $300 billion.
Oh, yeah.
I think.
I can't count that high.
Maybe I'm lowballing. I don't know. Yeah. But he is continuing to make media head spin, not only because he's pro-Trump, part of Trump's team, the Doge thing where he's going to go, him and Vivek Ramaswamy are going to go clean house.
Yes. Office of Governmental Efficiency. How awesome is that?
Right. And so I want to play you this audio. Axios. You ever go on the website Axios?
Sure,
It's a news outlet, Axios, kind of a younger, more, I don't know, I don't want to say progressive, but they're not any friend to conservatives or Republicans. They are definitely left-leaning. And here is their CEO at the National Press Club or something like that. He's crying. Listen to what he says here. And I take this to mean he's saying only legacy media does hard work.
Everything we do is under fire. Elon Musk sits on Twitter every day or X today saying we are the media. You are the media. My message to Elon Musk is bullshit. You're not the media. You having a blue check mark, a Twitter handle, and 300 words of cleverness doesn't make you a reporter. You don't do that by popping off on Twitter. You don't do that by having an opinion. You do it by doing the hard work.
Oh, it's hard work being a reporter. And only the legacy media does the hard work, apparently, according to the Axios CEO right there. First of all, I hate it when people in media, I don't care what they do, complain about hard work, whether they're in radio or reporting might be, benign or tedious or whatever, but it's not hard work.
Well,
sorry, you're not. Talk to the guys that are laying sheetrock every day, that are out doing road construction in 30-degree temperatures. That's hard work.
Yeah, talk to the guys out. Yeah, you're right. Doing landscaping and doing roofing when it's 105 degrees outside. No, I agree with you. There was a time when journalism, I think, was perceived as he's portraying it. That is, when you had. When you had the Watergate investigation, I mean, who broke that? That was the media. That was investigative reporters who pulled all the layers off the onions and dug right down into it and got that out into the public eye that fueled, so much. I think reform in the governmental level, not enough. But I mean, there was a time when the media was seen in that kind of light, but that's gone away. What I think the public sees anymore is that media picks sides, and once it picks a side, it's lazy, because all you got to do, you got to create your own little echo chamber. Go out and find people that are going to echo back to you the same thing that you say on the air every day. It's fundamentally lazy. It's not doing the hard work. It's just the opposite of that, and that's why I think this is laughable.
And I'm so glad you brought that up, because that leads me to my next clip. By the way, X, we talked about this, remains the #1 news app in the United States, by the way, just for this Axios CEO that's whining and complaining. It's beating the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, Fox Nation, Reddit, Substack. But talking about the media and being lazy, listen to CNN's Scott Jennings. Scott Jennings is a star of it at CNN. He's been there for 5+ years. I think going on 7 years now. He's a Republican. He was a former Bush aide. Young guy. I mean, he's in his late 40s. He's around my age.
Right.
And he's making this panel that he's on. Their heads are spinning when he says, listen to me. He says, X is the most ideologically balanced social media platform.
I heard what you're saying about X. I saw a survey this week. It's now the most ideologically balanced user platform.
Scott, stop. It's too early. I just sat down. I've only been here for 2 minutes. You cannot continue to say you cannot say that. That's not the case. Who's the source of that?
What I find, we reported it on this network.
It's not accurate, and you know it.
We reported it on this network that according to the polls, X is ideologically, I can't say it. Ideologically?
Yeah. You got it.
Balanced social media platform. And then you have the moron there saying, no, it's not. What's your source?
My favorite part of that, Nigel.
We reported on it. CNN reported on it.
My favorite part of that is you can't say that. That was when you listen to that quote.
Not only can he say it, but this is what happens when you let your emotions and your beliefs take over truth. That's CNN. Yeah. He just made a fool out of her, and I'll prove it. Here's the CNN report. Harry Enton, by the way, he's another stud at CNN, I think. He breaks down public opinion polling. Here he is reporting that X has become ideologically balanced.
Back in 2022, 65% of those who regularly use Twitter/X for news were Democrats. Just 31% were Republicans. Look at where we are today. Just a completely different picture. Now it's basically split between Democrats at 48%, Republicans at 47%. This new overall makeup matches the overall electorate.
So there you go. Proof right there. Just shoved it right in her face. But
this is CNN. You can't say that.
Matt Bear, my man, what's up?
What's happening, fellas? Looking at the south side crash, southbound 65 at Edgewood Avenue. All lanes except for the left center lane are blocked. That means we only have one lane available for travel. And this is stop traffic back to South Keystone Avenue for a 46-minute delay. Also, eastbound 465 on the south side now stop and go from 31 to 65 because of that crash. Westbound lanes struggling to make that exit to southbound 65 from westbound 465 because of the crash. Downtown crash on the entrance from Meridian Penn to northbound 65. It's at the top of the entrance ramp. Traffic sponsored by Mattress Firm. Shop Mattress Firm's Black Friday doorbusters starting this Friday. Get a queen mattress for just $89.99 plus score free pillow. Offer ends Sunday. In-store pickup only. See store for details. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
44, mostly sunny at the American Standard Heating Weather Center, 93 WIBC.
Ceasefire deal with Iran-backed Hezbollah militants could be just days away.
Tentatively agreed to a U.S.-backed proposal.
93 WIBC. Shootings happened this weekend at the Brass Flamingo Strip Club.
Numerous shots rang out.
191 homicides this year. Hear the news. Indiana's first loss to second-ranked Ohio State dropped them from 5th to 10th. Another news update is minutes away. Notre Dame went up from 6th to 5th. 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Hey, if you're looking around for something unique to take to Thanksgiving dinner this holiday season, maybe check out a bottle of Barkeep vodka. Have you had Barkeep yet? It is the cleanest vodka ever made by. They use this compression filtering process. It reduces the bite and the burn and the aftertaste. It's local, by the way. It's seriously the smoothest vodka we've ever tasted here on the Hammer and Nigel show. It's better value than most all other top shelf vodkas. Distilled with Indiana corn. These guys are all about local, and they have a better product. BarkeepVodka.com for a list of locations.
Ooh, we got a question. Brian W. asks, it's the holiday season and I'm looking for deals. Is Xfinity having a Black Friday sale?
Well, Brian, our best deals of the year are here. Get iPhone 16 Pro on us. Just ask us how. Plus, you can also get fast, reliable Xfinity Internet with a line of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited for a great low price.
So don't wait. Bring home a new iPhone 16 Pro built for Apple Intelligence.
And connect to reliable 5G and Wi-Fi speeds up to a gig on Xfinity Mobile.
That's a big deal.
More like a gig deal.
Now through December 3rd, ask how to get the new iPhone 16 Pro on us with an unlimited Plus line. Plus, get 300 megabit Xfinity Internet and an unlimited mobile line together for only $35 a month for 12 months with no annual contract. Go to Xfinity.com/Black Friday sale to learn more. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto-pay with stored bank account. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. Gig speeds available via hotspots to Xfinity Mobile customers only. Reduced speeds after use of monthly data included with your data option. Actual internet speeds and data thresholds may vary.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-285-0395. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-285-0395. 800-285-0395. 800-285-0395.
A true partner in your health dedicates time to understanding your needs. At CenterWell Senior Primary Care, doctors make one-on-one time with you a priority so you can get all your questions answered and feel more confident in your health care. See how it feels to have a team of senior care experts working together to help you feel your best. CenterWell, it's about time. Schedule a tour today at meetcenterwell.com. That's meetcenterwell.com.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup and delivery available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's jewelry experts.
Now I need you to listen to something that's game changer.
The Hammer and Nigel Show.
What did you just say?
On 93 WIBC.
All sorts of reasons, Guy Relford, why Donald Trump got the popular vote and the electoral vote. 79 plus million people voting for Donald Trump. All sorts of reasons. We could go on the Trump side. We could go on the Kamala Harris side. Why she was such a bad candidate. Nobody voted for her to run in a primary. Nobody voted for her to run for president. She kind of, some say there was some sort of super stealth coup committed. I don't know if it was that stealth. They just basically told
I think it was in your face.
Obama and George Clooney basically told Joe Biden, hey, make room. You're out of here, Pops. And she was just an awful candidate. We talked about how all her celebrity endorsements didn't matter yesterday. And some of the people she surrounded herself with on the campaign, say, I don't know, Liz Cheney? She drugged Liz Cheney around with her as if that would have made a difference. A new survey from this is a left-leaning pollster called Data for Progress, says that independent voters in a couple of swing states, Michigan and Pennsylvania, said they were, quote, less enthusiastic to vote for Kamala Harris when she campaigned alongside Dick Cheney's daughter, former Congresswoman Liz Cheney.
Yeah.
Does that sound about right to you? I was a little confused, actually, when Kamala Harris was going around with Dick Cheney's daughter, as if that was something virtuous.
Yeah, I mean, what they love about Liz Cheney is that she was a Republican. She became, as anti-Trump as anybody on the planet.
That's it. That's all you have to
and
be,
so since she flipped and became anti-Trump, it was like, aha, look, it's someone from the other camp that is converted to our side because she knows the truth. She's in the inner circle about Donald Trump, and she's now on our side. But I think they forget. When people look at Liz Cheney, they don't forget that exactly the point you just make. Right? She's Dick Cheney's daughter.
Well, let me play a piece of audio here for you. This is from Tucker Carlson's podcast. Had on a guy that I'm fascinated by, Glenn Greenwald. If you've ever heard of him. Is an independent journalist, and they were kind of talking about this whole thing, like Kamala Harris brought Liz Cheney out on the campaign trail.
Then you take Liz, Dick Cheney's daughter, with you through the Rust Belt, where all those policies devastated their lives, all those wars, and you think think about this is the thing. Think about how out of touch and cloistered and in a bubble you have to be to think that you're going to win an election depending on people who are in the working class, who feel alienated from society, who feel like DC doesn't work for you, by taking the daughter of the face of the American establishment, Dick Cheney, around with you as if she's your running mate. And people are craving change, and you have sitting there with Liz Cheney, who people only know because she was the vice president's daughter. Her dad was Dick Cheney. And not just Dick Cheney, but somebody who supports a whole range of policies that Americans vehemently reject now.
And then you should listen to that whole interview. It's really good. He goes on, that was Glenn Greenwald on Tucker's podcast. He went on to say, Bill Clinton, as a surrogate of Kamala's, going to Michigan and lecturing the Muslim community about how right Israel is and the Arabs, it's all the Arabs' fault. No matter what your beliefs are on Israel, you don't send Bill Clinton to lecture Muslims on why Israel's right in a heavy Muslim population. And then Obama. He talks about Obama in that interview, wagging his elitist finger at black men, calling them misogynists, telling them they're women haters because they want to vote for Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And don't want to vote for Kamala, this elitist that hangs out with Richard Branson on his yacht and lives in Martha's Vineyard, is going to tell the average, ordinary, everyday black man who to vote for and why you're a misogynist if you don't.
And see, this all comes back to a major reason why the Democrats, lost so much in the last election, including the presidential election, is because they've fallen into this mode where they're convinced that they're right. They're convinced that they're right on every level. And they're morally superior to anyone who doesn't agree with them. And it actually goes back. It goes back to Joe Biden. Remember the interview with Charlemagne the God? You ain't black.
Sure.
It goes right back to
he
that
didn't
mentality.
Give any blowback on that, though.
Well,
yeah, but it's a mentality.
It's the mentality, and that continuation of that mentality leads, to Obama to go in and lecture people about how they should feel about events in the Middle East. And it rolls down from that. Yeah. And you know what? A lot of people, a lot of African American men in particular, a lot of Hispanic voters, both men and women, a lot of people, I firmly believe, just got really tired of being lectured to.
They got millions of more votes from the minorities.
About what you have to believe just because of the color of your skin. A lot of people looked at them and said, no, I don't. And I think that's exactly why we saw the results in this election that we did.
Coming up next, Breitbart sports editor Dylan Gwynn. We're going to have a little fun. What's up with all the NFL players doing the Trump dance?
Yeah,
and then,
that's the best thing
what does
ever.
IU need to do to get in the Big Ten championship, maybe a playoff berth? Going to have some fun. It's a Hammer and Nigel show.
Real stories with Hellsberg.
I had the ring already. She had made it very clear what kind of ring she wanted.
Yep.
I pretended that I was going to kneel and picked up a pine cone instead of pulling out a ring.
What a jerk. But when I saw that ring, I was like, oh, he did good.
I really love Amy. I really, really genuinely love Amy.
I love you too.
At Hellsberg, find the engagement ring worthy of your story. Designed with the love, care, and craft it deserves. Visit a Hellsberg store or hellsberg.com.
Attention, Indiana homeowners. Are you tired of avoiding your wet basement? Hi, I'm Mike Smith with Swingco Crawl Space and Basement Repair, your real, local, Indiana family-owned experts. Imagine all the possibilities of a guaranteed dry basement, a cozy new family room, a home gym, or even a new office. And with no interest, no payment financing, you don't have to break the bank to do it. Make the most of your basement today. Call Swingco 317-407-1868 or swingcollc.com.
Hearing about online threats every day can be stressful. McAfee Total Protection is here to help you live a worry-free life online. What does worry-free mean? You won't have to wonder if that text message is a scam, if new threats will pop up on your PC, or if you're safe from identity theft. Visit McAfee.com/online protection today to get up to 79% off award-winning online protection. Act fast. This Black Friday Cyber Monday deal won't last. Offer ends 12/4/24. That's McAfee.com/online protection. Cancel anytime. Terms apply.
Don't you deserve health care you can count on? Well, you can count on United Healthcare with Medicare plans that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. You can enjoy reliable coverage and low out-of-pocket costs with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. United Healthcare Medicare Advantage plans. Made for Indianapolis, trusted everywhere. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today.
David was in big trouble with the IRS.
At first, I didn't owe that much, but after this year, it was out of control.
Then David called Get a Tax Lawyer.
Right away, they were like, oh yeah, looks like you're qualified to save.
Get a Tax Lawyer went to work.
Should have called way sooner.
Get a Tax Lawyer has helped thousands like David fight the IRS and get a fresh start.
Call 800-745-3070. That's 800-745-3070.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Look out, 42 degrees, mostly sunny in the circle. Your radar is clear of any trouble, low of about 36 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:32. Rocks and baseballs have been thrown onto I-65 in Johnson County this month. Johnson County Sheriff Dwayne Burgess says it's damaging cars and he's tired of it.
We're just continuing to do our investigative part to see what we can who we can find responsible for this.
Sheriff Burgess says they've got more patrols going on to deter further incidents from happening, as officers are also looking for who may be responsible. A ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hezbollah is being recommended to Israeli cabinet members today. Speaking through translation, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says his country is still working on eliminating Hamas.
We will destroy Hamas. We will bring back all our hostages. We'll make sure that Gaza will no longer be a threat to Israel, and will bring the north people who live in the north with security to their homes.
Prime Minister Netanyahu saying the war's not going to end until Israelis in the northern region of the country are able to come back home. Former ICE Director Tom Homan's visiting the southern border in Texas today to meet with Texas Governor Greg Abbott.
Don't test us. The nation wants a safe country. We've had enough crime in this country, illegal alien crime. It's time to end it and stop it.
Homan is expected to be put in charge of the nation's borders by Donald Trump once he's in office next year. Homan and Abbott spoke about strategy and limiting illegal crossings today. If you're traveling for Thanksgiving, today would be the best day to go. Rain and snow both expected tomorrow and possibly even Thursday, says Jason Puma with the National Weather Service.
Places like Kokomo, maybe South Bend, or maybe up towards Fort Wayne. Those places, probably as we get into Wednesday night into Thursday, we will see some of that rain changing over and mixing with some snow with some minor accumulations possible.
And Puma says says Indianapolis could be one of the cities in Indiana that's a recipient of some snow on Thanksgiving. And the average price you're paying for a gallon of gas in Indiana today, about $3.02, says GasBuddy.com, just a couple cents below the national average. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:34.
If you're looking for a deal that can't be beat, get over to the friendliest folks you'll ever meet at Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield with Black Friday deals running all month long. Now's the time to save big or let them come to you. With Ford Mobile Service, expert maintenance is just a call away, so you can put more time back in your day. Get it, Andy Moore? More time? Schedule your service easily through the Ford Pass app and get oil changes, tire rotations, and more right at your doorstep. And check out the selection. Head down to Andy Moore Ford and explore top picks like the rugged Ford Bronco and the all-electric F-150 Lightning. Trust me on the Lightning. These things are fantastic. Seating for up to 5, intelligent backup power, onboard power for all your tools and gear. This all-electric truck is built for adventure, work, and everything in between. Shop Black Friday deals now at AndyMooreFord.com. That's Andy Moore Ford, M-O-H-R. AndyMooreFord.com.
With traffic at 3:35, what's going on, Matt Bear?
Harrison crash southbound 65 on the south side. It's at Edgewood Avenue and been pushed over to both shoulders, in fact, are blocked right now. Traffic is stop and go back to Raymond Street for a 28-minute delay. It's also slowed down eastbound 465 from 31 into the I-65 ramps, as well as westbound 465 after Emerson to I-65. Downtown crash eastbound 70 before West Street. It's blocking the left lane, jamming traffic past Tibbs Avenue. Crash northbound 65 coming off Meridian Street on the entrance ramp at the very top. Inbound 65 stop and go before 21st Street to Meridian Bend. And Hendricks County crash eastbound 70 before State Road 267. And that is backing us up for about a mile and a half. Traffic sponsored by Sullivan Hardware and Garden. Are you ready for Friday Frenzy? Join us Friday from 7:30 to 9:30 a.m. for donuts and coffee at Sullivan Hardware and Garden at Allisonville Home and Garden by Sullivan. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Here's your forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Mostly sunny and cool today, but it should be quiet. Today's high 44. Increasing clouds, no problems overnight. We'll dip down to lows into the mid-30s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Story we've been covering here on the Hammer and Nigel show. Hi, by the way, I'm Nigel. Guy Relford's in for Hammer. A judge ruled that this San Jose State transgender women's volleyball player is going to be allowed to play for the Spartans in their conference tournament. This is where we bring in Breitbart News sports editor Dylan Gwynn. Dylan, I want to hit on IU here in a few minutes. I want to hit on some of the NFL players doing the Trump dance here. It's some fun stuff coming up, but this ruling by the judge, I mean, this transgender volleyball player has actually injured players on the opposing volleyball teams. Is that right?
Oh, no, she's delivered several hits directly to the face of opponents over the last few months here, which is why no less than 4 schools have declined to play against him. Yeah. Because, this 70-mile-an-hour, hits coming directly at the faces of female players, and they're not ready to deal with an opponent who possesses that kind of physicality. And they shouldn't have to be. And they shouldn't have to be having to deal with an opponent who possesses that kind of physicality. And that was the case that people brought to this judge, Judge Cato Cruz in Colorado. And I don't know about you guys, but whenever there's a judge named Cato involved, I start believing that things are not going to turn out well for my side. Right?
Cato? Or no, are you talking about another Cato?
Although this is a different Cato, but all Catos. I have strong reservations about all Catos. And I was proven right, and unfortunately in this case, Judge Cato Cruz, a Biden appointee. And this is why no one should be surprised by what has happened here. There was a petition to keep Blair Fleming, who is a man, out of the Mountain West volleyball tournament, out of the Mountain West women's volleyball tournament where he should not be. There was a petition filed, an injunction seeking relief in this matter, and Judge Cato Cruz, a Biden-appointed judge, ruled against him. And this is why more than 75 million Americans went to the polls a few weeks ago and decided that the clown show needed to end, because this judge did what he's supposed to do in the world of Joe Biden, which is rule in the favor of transgender athletes and rule against women. And he allowed Blair Fleming to continue in the Mountain West tournament, saying that any attempt to prevent him from competing in this tournament would be, that would cause upheaval and confusion. Was his actual wording that he used there, because having a man in a women's volleyball tournament doesn't cause confusion at all. But ending that would cause confusion is what he said. And this player is now going to be allowed to compete in this tournament, and women are going to be at risk. Continue to be at risk because the government has once again failed them.
And one more question, we can move on. You mentioned the others. There's been some teams that have forfeited, right? They just decided out and out not to play the San Jose State team with the transgender man.
Yeah, exactly. And we had the case with Nevada where the players actually rebelled against their own school. The school tried to force them to play against this transgender player, and they refused. Now, those were regular season games that were forfeited by those teams. 4 teams altogether forfeited regular season games. They were not tournament games, but going forward, the Mountain West Volleyball Tournament is a fraud because of this situation, for sure.
We're speaking with Breitbart sports editor Dylan Gwynn here on the Hammer and Nigel show. I think it's been so fun. What is going on with the NFL players, it's especially, 4 years, 3 or 4 years removed of kneeling during the Star Spangled Banner? Now, NFL players are doing the Trump dance in touchdown celebrations. And it's not just in the NFL, but in college and all over the world in different sporting events. The UFC, what is happening exactly, do you think, here, Dylan, in the world of sports, and the Trump, with the herky-jerky fists and the hip swaying, and he ends it with the golf swing? What is happening, do you think?
We are going to have to name this thing eventually, right? Like the herky-jerky, or I think doing the just doing the Donald, right?
Doing the Don, sure.
Doing the Don, yeah. I think that's probably the right way to go with it. I'm going to go ahead and quote somebody that you all in the Midwest know very well, Brian Urlacher, former Chicago Bear linebacker. I think he said it very well. No one's afraid anymore. The issue was not that there were no conservative or right-wing or Trump-supporting athletes in the sports world. Everybody knew that they were. I mean, these are people who have pulled themselves up, a lot of them from poverty. These are people who have fought, rugged individualists who have fought for everything that they've achieved in life and achieved it at the highest levels of professional sports. These are people who are, who are right in line with conservative principles and norms and, very religious and all that. So everybody knew there were tons of conservative or right-leaning athletes in the world of sports. The issue was, especially, and I'm glad you brought the Kaepernick thing, especially after the Kaepernick thing, there was tremendous fear in the sports world about speaking out of your political views if your political views were pro-Trump.
Oh, not only that, Dylan, but there was fear that if you didn't speak out, silence is violence. You were also it was a no-win situation.
Exactly. A no comment was basically a racial slur.
Yep.
Is the way it was. When you had Brian Urlacher, who came out here recently, and I think he said it very well. No one's afraid anymore. They're past the point of fear, and the athletes who have a view opposing that of Colin Kaepernick and those of his ilk are unafraid to speak their minds. And I think you're seeing that with a lot of the Trump support out there. Now, as far as the dances, I think they're hilarious, and I think the athletes think they're hilarious. I do not believe that every athlete who is doing the Don, as you so well put it, I don't believe that every athlete out there is necessarily a Trump supporter.
Sure.
But they don't view him. Here's the thing, though, and here's the thing. They don't view him as Hitler either. They are not against him. They're not so reviled by him as MSNBC would have you be. that they're opposed to him to the point that they can't at least have fun with something that he's doing. So what you're seeing here is that you have a lot of Trump-supporting athletes in the world of sports. We've seen it in the UFC. We're now seeing it in golf, at the NFL, college football, throughout the world of sports. But we're also seeing that even among the athletes who probably aren't Trump supporters, they at least don't hate the man, and they don't view him as such a vile creature that they can't at least have fun doing something that he does. So I think it's a tremendous sign and a tremendous it's a great thing because it reveals what we have all known for many years, which is that there's a lot of athletes out there who are not at all hostile to President Trump, and some who support him, and favor him very strongly.
And not only athletes, but outspoken sports talking heads like Stephen A. Smith, the highest paid talking head at ESPN, and him going on Bill Maher's podcast and saying that the narrative that Donald Trump is a racist just doesn't track at all, right?
That's exactly what he said. We have that story up at Breitbart Sports right now. That was a very great interview because what Stephen A. did there was pull back the curtain. You have the MSNBC line, which is that Trump is a racist, Trump is Hitler, all these kinds of things, and focus in on what Stephen A. Smith said in that interview with Bill Maher. He said, and I'm paraphrasing because my internet is slow and I'm trying to go to Breitbart Sports right now to bring the article up, but here is basically what he said. He said, quote, "All the brothers I know found him to be cool." So here he's pulling back the veil. He's saying here, this guy isn't Hitler. This guy isn't a racist. This is just he's a cool dude. Everybody who knew him, everybody who met him and gave him the time of day grew to like him in some way. And he also talks in that interview about how Trump's anti-establishment nature, his outsider status, the fact that he was persecuted by the justice system. You put all these things together with the fact that the guy knows his sports. He really does. Trump is a true sports fan and very personable with people. And this is a major reason why he won, the Latino male vote. He got huge increases in voters among black males and appealed to minorities in a way that Republicans haven't in decades, if ever. And you put all that together, Stephen A. Smith really did pull back the veil that all this stuff that's coming from the liberal media is a lie. People who know Trump, the man, the person, love him or at least think he's really cool. And that includes black people, and that includes Latino people, and it's not just white people. It's a whole spectrum of people from all different walks of life and backgrounds, and that is the real deal. That's the truth, not what MSNBC is trying to tell you.
Hey, before I let you go, we're speaking with Dylan Gwynn, Breitbart sports editor. I know you're a national guy, but IU is in the national spotlight. IU fans hoping for a huge, decisive victory over Purdue this weekend. What do you think of the Hoosiers? Their path to a Big Ten championship, possibly a playoff spot?
Yeah, if you're a Hoosiers fan, I think what you learned last Saturday is that there are levels to this thing. The Hoosiers have had a great season. Ohio State is on a very, very big level, and when those are NFL bodies out there and when they're leading on you for 4 quarters, eventually, it wears you down. And that's what happened to the Hoosiers last weekend. But all hope is not lost. As you mentioned, Purdue is coming up on the schedule here this weekend. That should be an easy win for the Hoosiers. And then after that, Hoosiers fans need to be rooting for Michigan bigly against Ohio State this weekend. As disgusting as that might feel for some of you, you might have to go do it. And also root for Washington to knock off Oregon. You've got to root for chaos right now if you're a Hoosiers fan, because there's still an outside chance of getting in that Big Ten championship game, which would get you the first round bye in the college football playoff. But you're going to need some help. You're going to need a win this weekend. You're going to need Michigan to make Ohio State a 2-loss team. And you're going to need some other things to go your way. But I wouldn't abandon hope. That's a very good football team there in Indiana.
There you go. Dylan Gwynn, Breitbart sports editor. Find his work, Breitbart.com. Have a great Thanksgiving weekend, Dylan, to you and your entire family. Thank you for calling the show, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, you guys do the same. Always enjoy it.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-285-0395. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-285-0395. 800-285-0395. 800-285-0395.
Great holiday savings all month at Tom Roush Lincoln. And during the Lincoln Wish List sales event, select 2024 Lincoln Navigators now $12,000 off and get 0% for 60 months. And all these great deals include the Lincoln Conquest Trade Assist. And don't you forget, all Lincolns come with complimentary pickup and delivery service. So get some of those holiday savings right now at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
Navigator MSRP 105,845. Subject credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details.
In the fight against lung cancer, it's game on, game strong. Franciscan Health leads the way with robotic technology to find and treat cancer sooner. Our entire team of multidisciplinary experts let cancer know it's hard to play against us. Franciscan Health is changing the game for lung cancer patients. Schedule a consultation or second opinion today. Visit franciscanhealth.org/lungcancercare.
Pat Sullivan here, and the holidays are right around the corner, which means all the food prep in your home and then scraps and leftovers thrown right down the garbage disposal. Don't let a clogged kitchen sink ruin your holiday spirit. Consider upgrading your garbage disposal before it's too late. Call my friends at Hope Plumbing today for a premium garbage disposal and get $100 off. Leave the dirty work to Hope Plumbing. Visit hopeplumbing.com for all their holiday specials today.
An official message from Medicare.
Couple more minutes, and we'll start this month's book club.
You know, I usually love a plot twist, but this year, I'm comparing my options during Medicare open enrollment.
You can't assume your current health or drug plan is the best one for you.
And you gotta make sure your drugs are covered. That's important.
So is saving money.
Review all your options at Medicare.gov. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
911, what's your emergency?
Por favor, necesito ayuda. Está borracho y creo que me va a pegar otra vez.
I will get someone to speak with you. Please stay on the line.
Hola, tenemos su ubicación. Ayuda está en camino.
Getting past a language barrier is critical when first responders help Hoosiers. That's why the State 911 Board provides special tools for non-English speaking citizens to communicate with emergency services.
Si estás en peligro, aunque no hables inglés, podrás recibir ayuda en una emergencia rápidamente.
All Indiana 911 centers began offering translation services in over 240 languages in 2019. Now, people can send text messages for help in their native language to 911 and receive a translated text back from the dispatcher. It's of great help to the deaf and speech impaired and to those in select dangerous situations.
Cuando llame o envíe un texto al 911, un servicio de traducción se asegurará que entiendan lo que está diciendo.
For more information, visit in911.net.
Gracias.
911. Before you text, voice is best.
She's too special for just an average gift. See Pierce Jewelers for the breathtaking sparkle in their rare, one-of-a-kind, fancy colored diamond collection. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
Avoid Black Friday frenzy at Sullivan Hardware and Garden with donuts, coffee, and mimosas early on the 29th while saving big. Shop, play, experience. Christmas with Sullivan's.
Matt Bear, what's going on with traffic?
Yeah, Nigel, I'm looking at eastbound 70 off ramp to State Road 267 at Hendricks County. A pickup truck was in a ditch, and it's really cool because right now a crane is lifting it off its wheels and it's just kind of dangling in the air as they remove it from a ditch, and it's kind of flying over the guardrail. Ramp is open, partially blocked traffic on eastbound 70 at 267, backed up for a couple of miles. Crash eastbound 70 downtown at West Street. It's on the shoulder, causing stop-and-go traffic past Tibbs Avenue. Crash clear south side southbound 65 at Edgewood Avenue. Stop and go traffic past Keystone Avenue. And on the north side, crash clear. Eastbound 465 before Allisonville Road. Traffic loaded back to Westfield Boulevard. Traffic sponsored by Sullivan Hardware and Garden. Are you ready for Friday Frenzy? Join us Friday from 7:30 to 9:30 a.m. for donuts and coffee at Sullivan Hardware and Garden and Allisonville Home and Garden by Sullivan. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Okay, it's 44 and sunny here at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. My name is Nigel. Guy Relford's filling in for Hammer. Went way long with our previous guest, Dylan Gwynn, Breitbart sports editor, but I could talk to him all day long about sports. Had some interesting things about why the NFL players have all of a sudden now doing the Trump dance. Said they're not necessarily Trump fans or Trump voters. It's just kind of everybody's not afraid anymore. And like back, with the kneeling, and we got 30 seconds left, Guy, but back with the kneeling, if you didn't kneel, you were a racist. If you said no comment, you were an oppressor or a racist. And if you spoke out against it, oh my God, were you a racist? And things have changed.
Cancel culture might be losing its grip.
It seems like it. I have another example somewhat of that coming up a little bit after 4 o'clock about how some of these giant corporations are getting rid of all their DEI policies. And this one might surprise you. That's next on the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Your business needs a network it can count on.
Power's out.
Comcast Business has you covered with Wi-Fi backup to help keep your business up and running, even when your power goes out.
Everybody in the warehouse good?
Lights are out, but the Wi-Fi's up. Let's power on.
It's from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Break room, you good?
Can't microwave my burrito, but Wi-Fi's fine. Let's power on.
Power on with the leader in connectivity, Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Learn how to get Comcast Business Internet, Security Edge, and Wi-Fi backup for $59 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement when you add Comcast Business Mobile Unlimited. Plus, for a limited time, find out how to get an $800 holiday bonus prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Don't wait. Call or go online to ComcastBusiness.com today. Ends 12/15/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 300 megabit per second internet, Security Edge, and Connection Pro. EcoBill and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9379. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9379. That's 800-575-9379. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
A true partner in your health dedicates time to understanding your needs. At CenterWell Senior Primary Care, doctors make one-on-one time with you a priority so you can get all your questions answered and feel more confident in your health care. See how it feels to have a team of senior care experts working together to help you feel your best. CenterWell. It's about time. Schedule a tour today at meetcenterwell.com. That's meetcenterwell.com.
Earn, save, grow. It's time your money works harder and goes further with a Stockyards Bank and Trust CD. For a limited time, earn 5.15 annual percentage yield with our 5-month CD special. Proudly serving our communities since 1904. Visit any of our 5 Indianapolis area locations or syb.com/IndyCD today and experience the Stockyards Bank difference. 10,000 minimum balance required. Limited time offer. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Mommy, want to play a game with me and Dad?
Mommy's not feeling good.
You need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with Dayquil VapoCool. It's Dayquil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
Come on, honey. Let's let Mommy rest.
You guys are amazing. And so is Dayquil VapoCool.
DayQuil VapoCool, the vaporizing daytime coughing, aching, fever, power through your day medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool Drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Pat Sullivan here. Fire emergency? I've had one. If you do, call Michaelis. Owner Richard Michaelis explains why.
Michaelis is local and family owned. 39 years of experience with 24/7, 365 response. The Michaelis Corporation is IICRC certified, restoring your home or business to pre-loss condition or better.
And Michaelis helps you through the insurance process, giving you peace of mind. Water, storms, fire, and mold. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. Text or call 844-FIX-INDY.
Coming up in 2 minutes, some people have been throwing rocks and baseballs onto the interstate in Johnson County. What your governor thinks about Donald Trump's proposed tariffs, and rain tomorrow could wind up turning into snow this Thanksgiving. Those stories and more coming up after Fox News Radio from the Technology Recycler Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 4 o'clock.
This is a Fox News alert. A ceasefire wins approval. I'm Lisa Brady. President Biden says both Israel and Lebanon have accepted a deal that calls for the Lebanese army to retake control of their own territory from Hezbollah, which has been firing rockets at Israel since the day after Hamas attacked Israel, spurring fighting in Gaza. In recent months, Israel has targeted Hezbollah in Lebanon.
Let's be clear. Israel did not launch this war. The Lebanese people did not seek that war either, nor did the United States.
President Biden says under the new agreement, Israel will gradually withdraw and civilians on both sides will be able to return home. But he says Hezbollah's infrastructure in Lebanon will not be allowed to be rebuilt.
If Hezbollah or anyone else breaks the deal and poses a direct threat to Israel, then Israel retains the right to self-defense, consistent with international law.
The Security Cabinet in Israel just approving the deal. President Biden also says Hamas now has a choice, and he pledges another push for a ceasefire in Gaza. The UK deploying about 60 personnel to determine who's behind recent drone swarms near military bases used by U.S. forces in England. A senior British official just confirming the personnel deployment to Fox News. A senior U.S. official tells Fox they don't appear to be drones used by hobbyists. The Pentagon doesn't go that far.
Right now, the assessment is that these drones have had no operational impact or safety impact on our personnel at any of these facilities. We're keeping a close eye on them. We're, of course, communicating very regularly with the UK host nation authorities.
Major General Pat Ryder, the Pentagon spokesperson, also not speculating on a possible connection to last year's incidents in Virginia when drones flew over Langley Air Force Base for more than 2 weeks. Wall Street rallies, the Dow up 123. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It's not safe. Sunny and 43 degrees downtown. Your radar's clear. Low of 36 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:02. Lots of baseballs and rocks have been found on I-65 in Johnson County this month.
And Johnson County Sheriff Dwayne Burgess says it's not for a good reason. I'm John Herrick. He says somebody has been throwing them.
We have rocks and we have baseballs, softballs. And we've got some damaged vehicles that have been damaged from these individuals that have showed up to throw these off the overpass.
He says it's happened a couple times this month, but no one's been hurt, which is why he's trying to find the person or persons responsible for this before somebody does get hurt. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Your Governor Eric Holcomb says Donald Trump's goal with the tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China is simply to create free and fair trade by leveling the playing field.
He's gotten the attention of certain markets around the world by talking about tariffs. But I want to see more of the details, and I'm all for free and fair level playing field trade.
Trump has said he wants to make imported goods more expensive. The hope is it'll encourage people to buy products made in the U.S. instead. A big tech company is planning to invest in Boone County's Leap District within the next decade. Kurt Darling reports.
The city of Lebanon and Meta have been in talks for a while, and last night, the city council there approved tax abatements for Meta to open an $800 million data center, that being the first of 6 possible phases, says Mayor Matt Gentry.
Certainly with every phase being, $800 million or so in 2024 dollars.
this is a pretty significant investment for us.
The council also approved a plan to supply water to the district with Citizens Water in Indianapolis. Kirk Darling, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Rain turning into snow Wednesday could create some slick roads for you to drive on, says Jason Puma with the National Weather Service.
It doesn't take a lot of snow to result in slick roads. So once you see those snowflakes falling, it's time to slow down, take a little extra time to reach your destination and practice those winter driving skills.
Puma says northern Indiana is likely to get some light snow. You get to the southern half of the state, it's probably just going to be rain. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:04.
According to CBS News, the average American loses out on an average of $182,000 in Social Security income, and it's because they file for their benefits at the wrong time. Learn how you can avoid this with a free Social Security analysis from Bill Demery, your retirement guy in Indy. We trust Bill to help us with planning for our retirement, and you can too.
This free analysis could help you get the most income from Social Security while considering the impacts on your spousal benefits, taxes, IRA and 401k withdrawals, and Medicare premiums. If you've saved more than $200,000 and have not yet filed for Social Security, schedule that free analysis right now by calling Bill Demery. 317-648-5120. Don't lose $182,000 in Social Security income. That money's rightfully yours. Call Bill Demery, 317-648-5120. That's 317-648-5120.
With traffic on the 5s at 4:05. How are the roads, Matt Bear?
Harrison, we are better in Hendricks County. This is eastbound 72 State Road 267. That exit ramp, we had a pickup truck in a ditch, and the crane just lifted it out. Still some police on the shoulder of the exit ramp, but the ramp is open. Traffic is stop and go for about 3 miles on eastbound 70 from State Road 267. Inbound 69, stop and go 106th Street 296. Looking at westbound 465, stop and go from Meridian over to Ditch. Inbound 65 slow from 21st to Meridian Penn. Southbound 65 still struggling from an earlier crash on the south side before Keystone Avenue to Edgewood Avenue. Stop and go traffic. Traffic sponsored by Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield. They teamed up with the Indiana Fever and Common Threads to provide local schools with information for nutritious meal preparation. Learn more at anthem.com/fever. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is the trade name of Anthem Insurance Companies Incorporated. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Thank you, Matt. And here's your forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Increasing clouds tonight with lows down in the low 30s. We'll see rain move back into the picture by Wednesday afternoon and night. There's potential for some snow to mix in. If it holds together long enough, can't rule out a light accumulation with highs in the lower 40s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
Hey, my name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is out. Guy Relford is in. We're going to give Guy a little more time at the bottom of this hour for Ask the Gun Guy. You're a licensed firearms instructor, 2A attorney. We tried to do it yesterday at like around 5:30. We just ran out of time. Just ran way late, and we were running behind the whole time. So we're going to give you a little more time. So if you got a question for Guy, the gun guy, the gun expert, keep in mind that we're going to open phones. Hopefully the phones are working.
Yeah, good point.
A little bit after 4:30 with Guy Relford. I wanted to mention this story about Walmart. They've made a bunch of changes. They're basically yanking their diversity, equity, and inclusion policies, DEI. And one of the latest global, well, is Walmart global? I don't know if they're global. I don't know if they're in other countries or not, but it's a huge corporate retailer. Putting a stop to some of the woke initiatives. What is woke? Woke is basically, somebody tried to back us into a corner on our social media at Hammer and Nigel. Oh, you guys don't even know what woke means. No, woke is easy. Woke is gender, race, identity over merit. That's at its essence. And DEI as well. Equal outcomes, regardless of how you get there, no matter how unfair it is. Minorities are always oppressed, and you are the oppressor. When I say you, I mean people of majority skin color. Whitey. Whitey's perpetually oppressive, and the minorities perpetually oppressed, which is absolute nonsense. So there's this anti-woke activist. I don't know, you ever heard of this guy? Anybody? Robbie Starbuck?
No, I have not.
Kurt is filling it now. Okay, it sounds like a adult film actor's name. He's been on this campaign exposing all these major corporations or woke policies. And he said he was, hey, Walmart, guess what? I'm getting ready to expose you guys for everything you're doing. And then Walmart got back to him. He's like, look, quote, we had a productive conversation to find solutions. They're going to remove sexual and transgender products inappropriately marketed towards children and reviewing grants to certain events to avoid funding sexualized content targeting kids. That's one aspect of what this guy did. And you're seeing more and more of these corporations, like, I don't know, Ford, John Deere, all yanking DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion policies. And I think that's really saying something about where we're going in this country. I think the corporations had enough of it. Donald Trump and his supporters have certainly had enough of it. And it just doesn't make any sense. It's costing a lot of money. It's costing people who deserve jobs. Like maybe, like a lot of DEI in traffic control, air traffic control right now.
Oh,
God,
my goodness.
I mean, really, yeah. They're making damn sure there's some diversity in there. Best person for the job be damned. We need to make sure that it's diverse.
If I want merit determining those issues anywhere, I want
please
in my doctor, and I want it in my air traffic controller. Those are important. But you know what I think, Nigel? I think part of the decline in this, just in terms of the realization of America of how ridiculous these policies are, is frankly, we just had a DEI presidential candidate. I mean, would Kamala Harris have been the presidential candidate if she hadn't already been the vice president? And would she have been Joe Biden's pick for vice president if she wasn't a black female or a woman of color? Would she have been his vice presidential candidate? No. She was selected for that position out of DEI type considerations, not on merit. And frankly, every moment she had in that job, then through her whole vice presidency, she was incompetent. She did zero on the border. She did zero anything else. No one during her campaign on her side could point to a single accomplishment she ever had. Nothing. Accomplished nothing. But she was a woman of color. That's why they couldn't replace her. They couldn't bring in Shapiro or any Gavin Newsom or anybody else because they would have been putting a woman of color aside. They put her in there as the candidate. She was a DEI candidate, and they got pummeled. They lost the popular vote. They lost all the swing states. And I think that's created some realization in this country that when you start going DEI over merit, it doesn't lead to a good result.
And there's a problem also with calling somebody without proof a DEI hire. Here, there's proof because Joe Biden said it. He said it with his Supreme Court pick. He said it with Kamala Harris. Somebody of color, preferably woman. And he said those words out loud. That's what he's looking for. And that's the very definition of DEI. Not the best person for the job, but gender, race, identity over merit. So merely looking at somebody, a minority, and say, "Oh, you're DEI," that I have a problem with that. Just looking at an accuser because of the position they have and what they've done. But Joe Biden announced, the executive CEO of the country, guy running the country, said, "Here's specifically what I'm looking for: gender, race, identity."
Exactly. And I'll tell you, I've got another problem. And this was something that made a light go on for me is a very dear friend I used to work with, an attorney, a black female. And I was talking to her about DEI, and it was really interesting to me because she came out, she's offended by DEI because she said, listen, I go into a lot of situations where I'm the smartest one in the room. But no one wants to consider me to be the smartest one in the room because I'm a black female. And it's insulting to me that we have this culture in this system that people think I'm going to advance because of the color of my skin or my gender. And it's just the opposite. She goes, I will kick your ass on the merits every single time, but people constantly, I sense, are rolling their eyes at me for having the position I have because I'm a woman of color. It discredits what I've accomplished in my career. And I think that's huge. As a middle-aged, white guy, it was really an important moment for me. I heard that story and I went, That's really compelling. It's important. There are people of color or females who are as anti-DEI as we are, because it discredits what they've actually accomplished.
And you got to understand too. We mentioned it last hour. The minority voted. I don't know if it was the majority of minorities that voted for Donald Trump, but certainly he got brand new minority voters. And you have people like Obama.
Oh, you bet.
Who stood there from his perch on Martha's Vineyard and basically said, I'm disappointed in the brothers for not voting for Kamala Harris. You must be misogynist and you must hate women. And this guy that's partying on yachts with Richard Branson and living in Martha's Vineyard in $15 million houses and glad-handing with George Clooney, giving George Clooney the blessing to write an op-ed in the New York Times how Joe Biden needs to step down. This guy is going to identify with minority voters and wag their finger at them?
And how much of a miscalculation is it to believe that they're going to hear that message and go, oh, I don't want to be a misogynist. I better get in line and do what Obama wants me to do, as opposed to going, to hell with you. I'm not a misogynist. I just want what's best for this country. I want what's best for this economy. I want what's best for my family. Misogynist, kiss my behind. I mean, I got to believe they miscalculated the response to that 1,000 degrees.
Yeah, I mean, the entire Kamala Harris campaign, from her surrogates to the millions of dollars to celebrity endorsements to Oprah, just the Democrats as a whole, big picture, just absolutely got their butts handed to them. And it's kind of delicious. I'm not going to lie to you. My man, Matt Baird, WIBC Traffic. What's up?
Still sweeping up this crash on the exit ramp from eastbound 72 State Road 267 in Hendricks County. The ramp is open, partially blocked, and slow traffic for about 3 to 4 miles. That front of the line on the move since part of the crash did clear. Inbound 65 stop and go traffic, MLK to Meridian Penn. That's a 5-minute delay. Eastbound 70 stop and go Belmont to Meridian, Illinois. On the north side, inbound 69 stop and go traffic from 106th Street down to 96, and south side southbound 65 stop and go traffic before Keystone Avenue to I-65 because of an earlier crash. Traffic sponsored by Honda of Fishers. Fall brings falling leaves and falling prices. Visit Honda of Fishers now for great deals on new and used Hondas. Visit Honda of Fishers in person or online at hondaoffishers.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
44, sunshine. Is this anything next? It's the American Standard Heating Weather Center, 93 WIBC.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Well, I loved being able to go into Diamonds Direct with my wife and my son, who's about to turn 13, and buy him something special for his 13th birthday. He's into the chains right now, for what it's worth. But they knew I was coming. I'd let Chris from Diamonds Direct know that I was in the market for something for my son's birthday, and she had it all set up when I got there. Diamonds Direct, over at Keystone at the Crossing. They will take care of you. They will stay within your budget. And they've got a ton of amazing gift ideas. Eternity bands, a pair of classic diamond stud earrings, something new and eye-catching from a world-class designer. Or if you're looking for that perfect engagement ring, maybe a Swiss timepiece. Diamonds Direct, they have all the perfect gifts for the season, starting at around $300. And to help make your purchase even more affordable, Diamonds Direct has special financing, so you can spread out your payments throughout the next couple of years. Get details, special showroom hours, and our holiday gift guide now at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct, the best jewelry store ever.
Okay, close your mouth and take a deep breath in through your nose. So the way it's supposed to be is that you should be able to breathe easily. You shouldn't feel constrained. What it should feel like is air briskly flowing freely through both nasal passages, day and night. And if not, there's a problem. And it's a don't know what your problem really was until you got it fixed kind of problem. you're living with it. I mean, you're tired a lot. It might give you headaches and sinus pressure, but you're living with it. Yeah, you sound like almost every patient we help until we get their problem fixed. And then you hear them saying, why would I put up with that? Advent will get you breathing freely again with simple in-office solutions like turbinate reduction along with balloon sinuplasty that really can change your life.
To date, Advent has solved over 40,000 breathing triangle problems. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577.
Service today.
Today.
Planning to propose this holiday? Shane Company is ready to help you find your dream engagement ring. We handpick the most beautiful diamonds and colorful gemstones in all shapes and sizes. So when you walk in the door, you can trust your rock is in stock. At Shane Company, we've always sourced directly, cut out the middleman, and pass the savings on to you. We work with your budget, not against it. We'll also protect your ring for life with our free unmatched lifetime warranty. Come see us at shaneco.com and in-store. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Hey, Pat Sullivan here with my friend Jack Hope, owner of Hope Plumbing. Jack, at the Sullivan House, we can't deal with any last-minute plumbing emergencies around the holidays. What do you suggest to get ready?
It's important to get your branch lines cleared because it could prevent a major disaster at some point over the holidays. And for the month of November, we have a $99 branch line clearing special for all your faithful listeners.
You heard them. Call Hope Plumbing for a $99 branch line clearing and get your home prepped for all the holiday fun.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's Diamond Engagement Ring Store.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
All right, let's rock and roll. Rock and roll.
All right, I got one here for you, Mr. 2A attorney. Guy Relford filling in for Hammer. You tell me if this is anything. You tell me if you'd take this case. It's kind of a tough one. A Florida mom arrested after she was threatening Lyft riders with a gun at McDonald's. She dropped the gun and ended up accidentally shooting her teenage daughter in the shoulder by accident.
That was her story, that she dropped the gun.
Here is the judge explaining the charges to this lady.
You were arrested for aggravated assault with deadly weapon battery and culpable negligence. During a gunshot into the juvenile has been shot. So it's $5,000 on each of those counts. No contact directly or indirectly with the victims. Do you understand?
I guess what happened was these people were in McDonald's. This mom and her teenage daughter and some other people were getting a ride, had a Lyft ride pull up out front, and they say they were pointing at the Lyft ride like, hey, the ride's here.
Your ride's here.
But the mom thought they were pointing at her and the daughter, and then it quite literally, blew up from there.
Well, and tries
is this anything?
And reacts to this by pulling her gun out, waving it around, pointing it at people. And at some point, the gun goes off, and there's video. See, that's the important point. When I have clients come into my office and they say, yeah, I was involved in this incident, it involves a gun, and they tell me what happened. I mean, very early on, I will always ask, is there video? Were you near a business? Were you, in a place where there's a Ring doorbell? Because anymore, Nige, there's always video. I mean, you just have to assume there's always damn video. And it's really interesting because they'll go, oh, well, is it a gas station? Well, then there's video. I was at a business. Oh, well, then there's probably video. And all of a sudden, then they can start tempering their story a little bit, say, well, this might have happened, that might have happened. And it's critical. Here, by all news reports, first of all, would I take the case? Well, she's a knucklehead, but even knuckleheads deserve an attorney.
Sure.
Right? So she wants to come in.
But she ain't no, defense attorney for the state or the city, right?
Well, you mean public defender?
Public defender. That's You ain't no public defender.
Yeah, well, I mean,
you get a retainer.
I'm not. I get paid. That's right.
Yeah.
But I also with any client, I'm always very honest. Nobody's going to just hear from me what they want to hear. I'm going to give them a very frank assessment of what I think they're looking at in terms of the likelihood of being convicted of a crime or otherwise. And here, when you start waving a gun around just because you're mad because you think someone's pointing at you, and then at one point your gun goes off and strikes your own daughter in the shoulder, no one ever, by all the news accounts I've seen, no one ever threatened her. No one, and there was no reason for her to fear for her life. And I always tell people, look, guns, and this is so critically important. I obviously advocate for Second Amendment rights, but gun owners need to take something really to heart. Guns are a tool of last resort. If your life is threatened or some other innocent person's life is threatened, it's a tool of last resort to save your life or to save another innocent life. And if you start waving a gun around just to be a tough guy or tough lady, to win an argument, to bluff someone, to intimidate someone, it's very, very likely you're going to go to jail. And if you pull that trigger and somebody gets hurt in that circumstance, it's very likely you go to jail for a substantial period of time.
And she's lucky she didn't do worse damage to her teenage daughter as well.
That's exactly right.
Let's stay in Florida here. This 22-year-old TikTok influencer, or whatever that's worth. I should have just stopped at TikTok. I don't even want to read this story, but this is in Florida again. They arrest people in Florida for stealing hundreds of dollars worth of stuff from Target. I know you go to California and do the same thing. They'll high five you, give you a pat on the ass and say, "Get out of here, little scamp." But this TikTok influencer stole a bunch of stuff from Target and started posting the evidence on social media. Here's a police officer talking about how they were able to catch this chick.
We actually had one person reach out on Instagram and say, hey, I want to remain anonymous, but here's their name and date of birth and their Instagram handle. So from there, we were able to look up her social media and even find on TikTok, she posted a video that day of herself going to Target, buying these items, and then taking them home with her. Everything was documented, even the outfit that she wore. It shows like her getting ready with the outfit and even her glasses, and all of that matches in the TikTok with the attempt to identify photo that we put out.
Boy, like I said, this ain't California, sister. This is DeSantis country. You go straight to jail for that. What an idiot. Is this anything?
Well, it is something, but by the way, it fits perfectly into what I just said, because let's say this person comes to my office and says, hey, I'm accused of stealing a bunch of stuff. And what's my first question?
Is there video?
and her answer is, yes, I posted it myself. That's something just because of how incredibly stupid that is. But it's not uncommon. Unfortunately, it's just not uncommon.
That's the
that people
reality.
Do that to themselves.
That's the reality of social media and people wanting to be a star and the complete ignorance people have. Like I said, in California, $500 worth of Target stuff, nothing. But this is Florida. Keep pulling stuff.
I envision somebody sitting there, they're doing the weighing thing, right? They got, on this hand I got clicks, on this hand I'm doing days in jail, and for the fact that people will put clicks over days in jail, come on, man, let's wake up.
Let's take some calls. You want to do Ask the Gun Guy?
Always, man. I love doing Ask the Gun Guy.
Guy Relford filling in for Hammer over here. We tried to do this yesterday, just ran really short on time yesterday. Yeah. Let's give it a little more room to breathe. If you have a Second Amendment question, a gun question, firearms, we have a licensed firearms instructor. We have a 2A attorney. A legal 2A scholar, as one Fox 59 reporter once put it.
Sarcastically, that's right.
239-9393 if you want to talk to Guy Relford. If you get a question for him, 239-9393. Ask the Gun Guy. Start calling now. We'll put you on hold. We'll get to the news, and we'll get back with Ask the Gun Guy coming up next. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
In the fight against lung cancer, it's game on, game strong. Franciscan Health leads the way with robotic technology to find and treat cancer sooner. Our entire team of multidisciplinary experts let cancer know it's hard to play against us. Franciscan Health is changing the game for lung cancer patients. Schedule a consultation or second opinion today. Visit franciscanhealth.org/lungcancercare.
You might not consider yourself a tech expert, but you can still protect yourself from online scammers with McAfee Total Protection. From fake delivery texts to bank alerts, scams are everywhere. That's where McAfee Total Protection steps in. McAfee will help keep your devices and identity safer and your private info private. Visit McAfee.com/online protection and get up to 79% off award-winning online protection. This Black Friday Cyber Monday deal won't last. Offer ends 12/4/24. That's McAfee.com/online protection. Cancel anytime. Terms apply.
Nobody cares for you like family. Family Heating and Air.
Maintenance is going to drastically increase the efficiency and performance of your system. It's also going to significantly improve the longevity of it. People think that they are saving money by skipping their maintenance, and in reality, they're just shaving years off the life and increasing the consumption of that unit, spending a lot more in the long term.
Get your tune-up today at Family Heating and Air, your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
A true partner in your health dedicates time to understanding your needs. At CenterWell Senior Primary Care, doctors make one-on-one time with you a priority, so you can get all your questions answered and feel more confident in your health care. See how it feels to have a team of senior care experts working together to help you feel your best. CenterWell, it's about time. Schedule a tour today at meetcenterwell.com. That's meetcenterwell.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. An important message about your timeshare from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. Contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about timeshare cancellation.
Call 800-611-7272. 800-611-7272.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group. 93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
YU should have left today. Sunny, 43 degrees in the Monuments. All clear with your radar. Low of about 36 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:30. If you're traveling for Thanksgiving, today would have been the day to go with rain and snow expected Wednesday and Thursday, says Jason Puma with the National Weather Service.
Places like Kokomo, maybe South Bend, or maybe up towards Fort Wayne. Those places, probably as we get into Wednesday night into Thursday, we will see some of that rain changing over and mixing with some snow, with some minor accumulations possible.
Puma says expect a chilly Thanksgiving. Light snow is possible in Indianapolis Saturday. President Joe Biden is announcing a ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah.
Under the deal reached today, effective at 4 a.m. tomorrow local time, the fighting across the Lebanese-Israeli border will end.
Biden said the deal was reached with help from France, ending the fighting in Lebanon. Hezbollah and Israel have been at conflict in Lebanon since Hamas had attacked all the way back on October 7th of last year, if you remember that. President-elect Donald Trump plans on putting Tom Homan in charge of the U.S. border. The former ICE director is spending today in Texas.
I'm happy that we finally got a president. President Trump's going to come in January. Like the governor says, we're not waiting until January. We're already talking. We're already planning. We're going to put a plan in place and secure this nation at the highest level it's ever seen. We're going to finish Trump's work.
Homan referencing a meeting he had today with Texas Governor Greg Abbott on border security strategies. Indiana Governor Eric Holcomb says Trump's plan for tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China is to try and create a free and fair trade by leveling the playing field.
He's gotten the attention of certain markets around the world by talking about tariffs. But I want to see more of the details, and I'm all for free and fair level playing field trade.
Holcomb says he wants to know exactly a few more details on what exactly is in those tariffs that Trump would like to put on those three countries. And at the closing bell today, another positive day. The Dow was up by 123 points, closing at 44,860. The NASDAQ increased by 119. And the S&P 500 also up by 34. It finished today at 6,021. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:32.
If you're looking for a deal that can't be beat, get over to the friendliest folks you'll ever meet at Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield with Black Friday deals running all month long. Now's the time to save big or let them come to you. With Ford Mobile Service, expert maintenance is just a call away, so you can put more time back in your day. Get it, Andy Moore? More time? Schedule your service easily through the Ford Pass app and get oil changes, tire rotations, and more right at your doorstep. And check out the selection. Head down to Andy Moore Ford and explore top picks like the rugged Ford Bronco and the all-electric F-150 Lightning. Trust me on the Lightning. These things are fantastic. Seating for up to 5, intelligent backup power, onboard power for all your tools and gear. This all-electric truck is built for adventure, work, and everything in between. Shop Black Friday deals now at AndyMooreFord.com. That's Andy Moore Ford, M-O-H-R. AndyMooreFord.com.
The traffic at 433. Here's Matt Bear.
On the west side, crash southbound 465 before I-70. It's blocking the center lane, causing stop-and-go traffic back to Sam Jones Expressway. Eastbound 70 from the west side, crash has cleared. Stop-and-go traffic Tibbs Avenue to the south split, 16-minute delay. Inbound 65, stop-and-go from MLK to Meridian Penn for an 8-minute delay. Inbound 69, stop-and-go traffic 106th Street, 296. Also looking at southbound 31, stop-and-go, especially in that exit 2465. Stop and go from 116th Street to 465. Traffic sponsored by Sullivan Hardware and Garden. Are you ready for Friday Frenzy? Join us Friday from 7:30 to 9:30 a.m. for donuts and coffee at Sullivan Hardware and Garden at Allisonville Home and Garden by Sullivan. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And your forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Increasing clouds tonight with lows down in the low 30s. We'll see rain move back into the picture by Wednesday afternoon and night. There's potential for some snow to mix in. If it holds together long enough, can't rule out a light accumulation with highs in the lower 40s. I'm Wish TV Storm Tracking meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Now you're going to listen. Listen.
I'm listening.
I'm listening. And listen.
On 93 WIBC.
My name is Nigel. Guy Relford in for Hammer. Guy Relford is a 2A attorney, licensed firearms instructor. One of the more popular segments we have on this program when Guy fills in is Ask the Gun Guy, 239-9393. If you're on hold, stay there. Guy Relford will get to your call. We're going to devote 2 full segments to this guy. It's all yours.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, the phone lines are stocked, man. This looks great. Thanks so much for calling in. And we're going to get to as many as we can. We're going to get to a bunch of you because we actually have 2 segments devoted to Ask the Gun Guy. And Dylan was the first one to call. Dylan, welcome to Hammer and Nigel.
Hey, how's it going? Just got a quick question. Knowing what we saw with Tim Walz and his shotgun hunting video,
yeah, right,
would you rather go hunting with him or Dick Cheney?
Well, yeah, that's a really interesting question. Definitely, as much as I think Tim Walz is a complete moron, he didn't shoot anybody in the face like Dick Cheney did.
Fair enough.
So I'm definitely going with the dude who just simply couldn't load his shotgun. Hey, if you can't load your shotgun, I'm in substantially less risk of getting shot in the face at that point.
And the guy apologized. Dick Cheney shot the guy in the face, and the guy apologized to Dick.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, sorry for ruining the weekend.
Mr. Vice President, I'm sorry I put my face in front of your shotgun. Exactly right. So, yeah, no, great question. No, let's go back to the phone lines, and Rex is called. Rex, welcome to Hammer and Nigel.
Yeah, hey, I appreciate it, gentlemen. Thanks for taking my call.
Always.
The question I have is about holiday giving. I know I've asked you probably and heard this before, but I just want to get it out there so folks know. Recently had a daughter get married, and I was thinking about gifting them a firearm for their new house for the holidays.
Rex,
what are the real rules on such a thing?
This is such a great question, and there's so much misinformation about this. And if anybody watching the YouTube feed, I was just giving you 2 thumbs up for asking this question because it's perfect timing going into the holidays. Frankly, getting close to Good Friday, a lot of gun shops have great deals on Good Friday for firearms and ammunition and training courses. But listen, you can, contrary to popular belief, buy a gun as a gift. You have to use your own money. It has to truly be a gift, and you can't be buying a gun for someone that you know to be a prohibited possessor. In other words, if they're a felon or a domestic batterer or under a domestic violence order of protection or some other legal disability that prevents them from handling or from owning a firearm, possessing a firearm, you can buy a gun as a gift. And people don't understand that when they go in to fill out the form in the gun store, the 4473, there's one question that says, are you the actual transferee of the firearm? Meaning, are you the one that's actually taking possession of the firearm? And people think, oh, I have to say no to that if it's a gift. if you actually go back through the instructions on the 4473, it'll tell you exactly what I just told you, that you can buy a gun as a gift as long as you haven't received any compensation, you're not using somebody else's money to buy the firearm, and as long as the person's not a prohibited possessor. So that's a fabulous question and perfectly timed going into the holidays. So thanks, Rex, for asking that.
Rex Kwando!
Absolutely. Great job. Dave, welcome to Hammer Nigel, man. What you got?
Hey, Guy. I appreciate listening to you. I've got a great bodily harm question. I'm a 75-year-old man and not a lot of upper body mobility. And, I mean, if some 25-year-old comes at me in a threatening manner, am I okay to pull my gun and shoot him?
Well, I'll tell you what, I would strongly recommend, Dave, and this isn't just a pitch for you to come to my class, but it's not really an answer I can give you, in 30 seconds or a minute here on the radio. It's based on what's called the totality of the circumstances. And what you have to have is a reasonable belief that you're preventing serious bodily injury to you or a third person. So did you have any alternatives? Was it necessary for you to use that deadly force? Did you have other options? Now, we have a stand your ground statute in Indiana, meaning you don't have to run away or try to run away. You can stand your ground and defend yourself. But under the totality of the circumstances, did you have that reasonable belief that you're preventing yourself from serious bodily injury? That's what it goes into. Now, that point right there, buddy, I spend probably 2 hours on, including the total discussion of what people need to know about the use of deadly force and self-defense when I teach my Essentials of Indiana gun law class. So I'd strongly encourage, if you really want a much more thorough answer to that question, come take that class. It's $50. It's 5 hours, but it's a good $50 to spend if you're a gun owner.
I'm running away.
Yeah. You don't have to, but yeah, it's an option.
I'm running.
And listen, I've defended a lot of people that have defended themselves with deadly force, and they all say it's the worst day of their life and they wish it never happened.
Yep.
Even when they're totally and completely justified. So yeah, if you can avoid it, that's why I say tool of last resort. A lot of people that own guns, want to be tough men, tough women, whatever. And if you can avoid it, you need to avoid it. At the same time, if it truly is a tool of last resort, you need it to save your life. A lot of us carry for exactly that circumstance. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. And Patty is called. Patty, welcome to Hammer and Nigel.
Hi there. Thank you so much. My question has to do with the theft and, as you said, video. I was fired, falsely accused of theft, and when the manager said, I have video, I said, can I see it? He said, no, I'm going to show it to my officer, and we'll decide if we're going to charge you with trespass or theft. And I thought, my next remark was, okay, so I'm going to be arrested, have to spend time in jail for something I didn't do. And he was just venomous. And if there's a video, shouldn't I be able to see it? Because I was no longer employed when I heard you say on one of your shows, if you show don't know if I've got it exact, but if
I think we
got
it, Patty. I think it's not exactly a two-way question, but we've been talking about video an awful lot. Is it on video?
I understand why she's asking the question. And listen, if you haven't been charged with a crime and you're just being fired, as I understand it, Nigel, is that what you?
That's what she said. Yeah, and then they wouldn't let her see the video. They said, "Hey, we caught you on tape stealing," and she's like, "I didn't steal anything." We got the tape.
I mean, unfortunately,
I want to see it, and they wouldn't let her see it.
In Indiana, we have what's called employment at will. There are certain protections. There are guns in the workplace statutes, for instance. There are obviously protections against racial discrimination, age discrimination, gender discrimination. But if you're not in one of those areas, an employer can pretty much fire you for any damn reason they want. And so there aren't a lot of protections, I hate to say. Let's keep going. And we've got Steve. Steve, welcome to Hammer and Nigel.
Hey, Guy. Quick question. So trying to put together two ideas or two thoughts that you bring up. One is that you can use a gun to defend yourself or as a third party if a felonious type of activity is occurring. But on kind of a current topic is, what if that person committing the felonious assault of some sort is technically a juvenile? How would you consider, answering that if the situation ever arose?
Well, yeah. I mean, what you can use deadly force to defend yourself from in Indiana is you can prevent serious bodily injury to you or a third person, or the commission of a forcible felony. That's not any felonious conduct, and I don't mean to nitpick your question. It has to be a forcible felony. In other words, if some guy's just stealing my car, he's not threatening me, it's not a carjacking, he's just trying to steal my car and get away with my car, that's not a forcible felony. I can't shoot him. If it's a forcible felony...
So let me just kind of say that. What if it is a juvenile with a gun?
Well, that's where I'm getting to. It doesn't matter if it's someone under 18 or under 21, however you're defining juvenile. If you legitimately believe that they're about to commit a forcible felony against you or cause serious bodily injury, you can defend them. In other words, if a 14-year-old walks up to me with a gun in his hand and threatens to shoot me. And can I defend myself against that 14-year-old with deadly force? Absolutely. So
which unfortunately has happened before.
In this
state.
It absolutely does.
Let's take a break. If you're on hold, stay there. Don't go anywhere. I think we got a couple of open phone lines. Ask the Gun Guy. Guy Relford filling in for Hammer. I'm Nigel. We'll be back. More Ask the Gun Guy next.
Your business needs a network it can count on.
Power's out.
Comcast Business has you covered, with Wi-Fi backup to help keep your business up and running, even when your power goes out.
Everybody in the warehouse good? Lights are out, but the Wi-Fi's up. Let's power on.
It's from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Break room, you good?
Can't microwave my burrito, but Wi-Fi's fine. Let's power on.
Power on with the leader in connectivity, Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Learn how to get Comcast Business Internet, Security Edge, and Wi-Fi backup for $59 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement when you add Comcast Business Mobile Unlimited. Plus, for a limited time, find out how to get an $800 holiday bonus prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Don't wait. Call or go online to ComcastBusiness.com today. Ends 12/15/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 300 megabit per second internet, Security Edge, and Connection Pro. EcoBill and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change.
How many times have you done this? You know you're going to have family over, and you're like, we don't have the kitchen that can handle this. Why haven't you called Boer already? This is it, guys. The last year, you work in a kitchen that doesn't work for you and your family. You are calling Boer. Boer Remodeling, 317-852-5546. Tell them Tony Cat sent you. 317-852-5546 or online at Boer, BOOHER, BoerRemodeling.com.
Don't you deserve health care you can count on? Well, you can count on United Healthcare with Medicare plans that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. You can enjoy reliable coverage and low out-of-pocket costs with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. United Healthcare Medicare Advantage plans. Made for Indianapolis, trusted everywhere. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today.
Earn, save, grow. It's time your money works harder and goes further with a Stockyards Bank and Trust CD. For a limited time, earn 5.15 annual percentage yield with our 5-month CD special. Proudly serving our communities since 1904. Visit any of our 5 Indianapolis area locations or syb.com/IndyCD today and experience the Stockyards Bank difference. 10,000 minimum balance required. Limited time offer. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey, it's Rob. Right now, schedule your free in-home estimate. For every 2 windows you buy, you get the next 2 free, plus 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years. Restrictions apply. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Have you lost Indiana Medicaid? At healthcare.gov, you can find a low-cost, quality health plan.
Do plans cover doctor visits?
What about emergency care?
And prescriptions?
All covered and more. Plus, with the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
40 years of B Window.
And 80,000 Indiana homes with windows, doors, siding, and bats.
Pam and I are happy to announce B's 100 employees now own B Window, and Patrick Renard will lead B as CEO.
And B will continue the customer-first feeling that George and Pam built. And to celebrate B employee owned, B's offering our Black Friday sale, 52% off, plus 10% manufacturer rebates, and 18 months, no interest, no payments.
Express the heartwarming message that says love is about being together. Let a Pierce Jewelers diamond engagement ring be the symbol that says, I love you. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
Hammer and Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Join Sullivan Hardware and Garden early on Friday. Enjoy a little breakfast and save on gifts, decor, clothing, jewelry, and more. Shop, play, experience Christmas with Sullivan's.
You want to listen all day to WIBC, but you don't always have time. Don't worry. There's a podcast for that. The WIBC Mashup. Daily highlights from your favorite hosts, Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, and Hammer and Nigel. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Matt Bayer, what's going on?
Nigel, east side, northbound 465 at Penn Pike. We just pushed out of the interstate with this crash. It was blocking the left lane, has been moved over to the shoulder, and now traffic is stop and go back to I-70, front of the line, moving a little bit better. On the west side, southbound 465 before I-70 crash, blocking two left lane stop and go traffic back to Rockville Road. Looking at eastbound 70 into downtown from the west side, that is stop and go from Holt Road to Meridian, Illinois, 12-minute delay. Inbound 65 slows. MLK to Meridian, Penford, 8-minute delay. Northbound 65 stop and go traffic west 56th Street past the 465 ramps, and inbound 69 stop and go from 106th Street to 96th. Traffic sponsored by Sullivan Hardware and Garden. Are you ready for Friday Frenzy? Join us Friday from 7:30 to 9:30 a.m. for donuts and coffee at Sullivan Hardware and Garden in Allisonville, Home and Garden by Sullivan. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
43 of the American Standard Heating Weather Center. It's Nigel here with Guy Relford, the gun guy. Back to Ask the Gun Guy, 239-9393. Go for it.
Yeah, let's go back to the phone lines. I'll tell you what, the phone lines are completely full. We're going to get to everybody we can. Please be concise. James, what you got, buddy? James, are you there, man?
Next.
Nope. Sorry, man. Judy, welcome to Hammer and Nigel.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I love your program, Mr. Relford, and I love it with Hammer and Nigel.
Thank you.
Someone I know was swatted by an evil coward, former girlfriend, whatever.
Yep.
Guy's totally innocent, and he, of course, has this on his record. Question, he doesn't have the money to expunge, and he's totally innocent. He spent 6 hours at Ashkenazi. They said he was perfectly normal, Pacific, great guy, gets involved in this because of an evil act. One, how does he clear his name? And two, why isn't the person who did the swatting paying back the county the $80,000 he caused the county and endangering everybody?
And Judy, quick question. You say swatting. Was this a red flag report? This guy was dangerous and should have his gun seized?
She invented that he was going to do X, Y, Z, and the SWAT team was called.
Okay, so he wasn't arrested for a crime. His guns were taken away under the red flag statute. Is that what
you call it? And she walks free.
Okay. All right. Well, first of all, I helped write this statute. I wrote the statute that where we added a false claim under the red flag law that somebody is dangerous to the false reporting statute. So that's now a crime. Somebody can go to jail for doing that. Secondly, if he's been accused of being dangerous under the red flag statute, that was the quote unquote swatting. If people don't know that term, you call police, call 911, you report somebody's dangerous or they're suicidal or they're homicidal, whatever, and you hope the SWAT team shows up and shoots them or arrests them or red flags them, whatever it might be. That's what we call swatting. But the other is that first you need to win the red flag case. Secondly, right now, and this is a big defect in Indiana law, and I've already written a bill this session, in the 2025 session, to fix this, where right now, even if you're found not dangerous in a red flag case, you can't expunge that off your record. And I just wrote a bill and you said he doesn't have money for an expungement. Well, the bill that I wrote, and hopefully we get past this session, it's going to be introduced by Representative Ben Smaltz, says that if you're found not to be dangerous in that red flag proceeding, it's automatically expunged off your record. And so you don't have to worry about that
2 minutes.
the rest of your life. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. Judy, we've talked to. Let's go to, I think, Lou. Lou, welcome to Hammer and Nigel. Are you there, Lou?
Levi.
Oh,
All
Levi.
right, we got to keep going. Okay. Let's go, Jenny. Jenny, welcome to Hammer and Nigel.
Jeremy.
Jeremy, I'm sorry. Jeremy.
Hey, I'm here.
Sorry, man.
Just a follow-up on your gifting a gun.
Yeah.
You said if it's somebody that's not prohibited.
Yes.
Well, let's pretend you didn't know that they were prohibited. You give them a gun, they commit a crime, say they kill somebody. Are you liable?
Well, liable is typically a civil term, meaning can you get sued for damages? Yeah, maybe if you were negligent in doing that. Are you criminally culpable? Do you go to prison? Well, that only goes to if you knew you were transferring the gun to someone who was ineligible. The statute's written specifically that way. You have to know that they were ineligible to buy their own firearm from a dealer at the time you transferred them the gun. That's a requirement of the statute.
Time for one more here.
All right, Jason, looks like you're it, man. Jason, welcome to Hammer and Nigel.
How y'all doing? Good. Question is, I had an expungement done. I am now, that has been all done. I have my carry license. My question is, on the form that you fill out when you're purchasing a gun, it says, have you ever been convicted of a felony?
Right.
Do you still have to
What
check
would be
the
the
box?
correct way to answer that?
Well, I'm sorry. You started out. You were convicted of. What it was?
He had an expungement.
Oh no! It says right in the instructions. If you've had it expunged, you can say no. Easy answer.
Okay.
Absolutely. No, it says right in the instructions, and that's an important thing because that's one of the reasons people get expungements. Because by the way, if you say, well, yes, because in the back of your mind, but it was expunged, so I'm okay, you won't go home with that gun. The gun store sees yes on the form to that question. You're not buying your gun. So the instructions specifically say if it's been expunged, you've been pardoned, or your rights have been restored, you can answer no to that question.
Another successful edition of Ask the Gun Guy.
Absolutely.
More Hammer and Nigel. Guy Relford filling in for Hammer after 5 o'clock. 93 WIBC.
Lovebirds, you're in for a treat. With your holiday proposal just around the corner, Shane Company is here to help you create your dream engagement ring. This is your moment. Let's make it magical. Through 4 generations as a family business, we've helped tons of couples find a beautiful engagement ring for a price that works with their budget. We've always sourced diamonds directly, cut out the middleman, and passed the savings on to you. At Shane Company, we have the widest selection of ring settings and center stones, in stock and ready to compare side by side. It's so easy. Choose a look that brings your vision to life. From classic styles to modern designs, we have them all. Then pick out a natural or lab-grown diamond, a sapphire in your favorite color, or a vibrant gemstone like ruby or amethyst. With our everyday competitive prices and free lifetime warranty, your forever after is safe with us. Visit shaneco.com and come see us in store. We've got your dream ring and fine jewelry gifts for everyone on your list. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-285-0395. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-285-0395. 800-285-0395. 800-285-0395.
What does the joy of Christmas mean to you? A gift? Time with family? Decorations and traditions? At Shepherd Community, the joy of Christmas is learning to read, feeling safe and loved, finding a stable job, and having a community that cares. Shepherd gives its neighbors gifts of joy and hope for a brighter future. You can give the joy of Christmas to neighbors living in poverty, not just at the holidays, but all year long. Visit caringatchristmas.org/give. That's caringatchristmas.org/give.
Custom home builder Joiner Homes is truly a one-stop shop because every stage of the process is done in one location. From picking the perfect home site to selecting the ideal floor plan, their architecture team will create a set of custom blueprints. Then into the design studio where you'll personalize every detail of your new home. A dedicated project manager oversees the home construction through completion. Joiner Homes will build you the most beautiful custom home. Check out their 5-star Google reviews and visit joinerhomes.com.
You okay?
Sorry, I can't sleep with this cough.
Sounds like you need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with NyQuil VapoCool. It's NyQuil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
So you ready to get some sleep? Thank you, NyQuil VapoCool.
NyQuil VapoCool, the vaporizing nighttime coughing, aching, fever, best sleep with a cold medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Your love isn't confined to an advent calendar. It doesn't stop when the Christmas lights come down. With the Salvation Army, your love lasts all year long. It puts a Christmas present under someone's tree today and a roof over someone's head tomorrow. It brightens Christmas morning and the hardest nights for hardworking families. Together, we love beyond Christmas. Give $25 a month to support local families all year long at sacentralindiana.org.
Coming up in 2 minutes, the chances you could get some snow tomorrow and Thursday. That and more coming up after Fox News Radio from the Technology Recycler Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock.
New hope for Mideast peace. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. President Biden announcing a ceasefire brokered by the U.S. in Lebanon just after Israel's cabinet approved it.
More than a year of conflict between Israel and Hezbollah will come to an end in Lebanon, President Biden says, after the two sides agreed to a U.S. proposed ceasefire.
What is left of Hezbollah and other terrorist organizations will not be allowed. Well, I emphasize, will not be allowed to threaten the security of Israel again.
The president says as Israeli forces and Hezbollah fighters withdraw, tens of thousands of civilians displaced on both sides of the border will return to their communities.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. The U.S. also making another push for a ceasefire with Hamas in Gaza. Just hours before a ceasefire takes effect in Lebanon, another round of Israeli airstrikes with more evacuation warnings near Beirut. The other federal case against the president-elect has just been tossed out. A federal appeals court granting a motion by special counsel Jack Smith to dismiss the Trump classified documents case, a day after a federal judge threw out a federal election interference case, also at Smith's request, because the Justice Department does not prosecute sitting presidents. In the classified documents case, charges remain against two co-defendants. A trip to the southern U.S. border for incoming Trump border czar Tom Homan, visiting Texas National Guard members and troopers, along with Governor Greg Abbott, who said their work on the border is essential.
Texans are counting on you. Americans are counting on you.
Homan called them heroes and said work is already underway on Trump plans to secure the border, also offering a warning to anyone planning pushback.
It is a felony to knowingly harbor and conceal illegal aliens from immigration authorities. Don't test us. The nation wants a safe country.
Some Democratic governors and mayors have vowed to resist a mass deportation. The Thanksgiving rush hitting some snags at New Jersey's Newark Airport, a growing number of delays blamed on a regional shortage of air traffic controllers. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What could cause some trouble on the road? Skies mostly clear over the circle with temperatures in the lower 40s. Nothing of concern on your radar at the moment, but check back in tomorrow. Low at 36 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox for the Michelis Corporation. Here's what's trending at 5:02. Rain could wind up turning into snow before the end of the day tomorrow. That would create some slick driving conditions, says Jason Puma with the National Weather Service.
It doesn't take a lot of snow to result in slick roads. So once you see those snowflakes falling, it's time to
slow down, take a little extra time to reach your destination, and practice those winter driving skills.
Puma says northern Indiana is likely to see some slight snow. If you live further to the south, probably just going to get some rain. State police believe that an officer in Anderson may have sent some inappropriate texts to kids while he was working as a school of resource officer earlier this year. Here's Sasha Nixon.
Joshua Senseni was placed on administrative leave in July. He was then arrested Tuesday morning, but posted bond shortly after being processed at the Madison County Jail. Following his arrest, the Anderson Police Department released a statement explaining that the safety board will determine his punishment. This may include continuation of leave with or without pay, or discipline up to and including termination of employment. Sasha Nixon, 93, WIBC Mobile News.
Some people have been tossing rocks and baseballs and softballs on I-65 in Johnson County this month. Sheriff Dwayne Burgess says it's not only damaging cars, but he's just sick and tired of it.
We're just continuing to do our investigative part to see what we can who we can find responsible for this.
Burgess says more patrols are going on along the interstate to deter further incidents from happening as officers are still trying to find who might be responsible. Free and fair trade, those are the goals behind the tariffs President-elect Donald Trump wants to impose, according to Indiana Governor Eric Holcomb.
And so where it's costing us more on one end, what he's trying to say is we can level the playing field in a number of ways. And he's gotten the attention of certain markets around the world by talking about tariffs. But I want to see more of the details.
If you didn't already hear, Trump promised yesterday to sign an executive order once he's in office next year that would put a 25% tariff on imports from Mexico and Canada and 10 more percent to a tariff on China. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 5:04.
Pat Sullivan here for the Michaelis Corporation, talking with Richard Michaelis about basements and foundations. Richard, what are some of the signs that a homeowner should watch out for to spot potential foundation or basement problems?
If you see cracks or bowing in your basement walls, uneven floors, or cracked bricks, these could indicate foundation issues. And keep in mind, if it's a significant foundation problem, it will only worsen over time. If you notice water in your basement, visible mold, damp walls, or musty odors, it could be a sign of a foundation issue or a waterproofing problem.
How can homeowners know for sure if there's a real problem?
By calling Michaelis for a free inspection. We're a local family-owned and operated company with 39-plus years of experience. If repairs are needed, we offer a lifetime warranty and 0% down on foundation and basement repairs. You see our work before we see your money.
Foundations, basements, and crawl spaces. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. Call or text 844-FIXED-INDY. Make it Michaelis.
With traffic on the fives at 5:05, here's Matt Baer.
All right, Harrison, west to side, southbound 465, crash before I-70. 2 left lanes are blocked. Traffic is stop and go back to Rockville Road. This delay at 15 minutes. Eastbound 70 from the west side, stop and go traffic. Holt Road to Meridian, Illinois, 11-minute delay. Inbound 65 slows before MLK to Meridian Penn. South side, crash clear. Eastbound 465 after 31 east, still stop and go traffic back to I-69. Looking at the north side, eastbound 465 stop and go from Westfield Boulevard to the White River. Crash, Lawrence, Sunnyside Road at US 36 Penn Pike. Traffic sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career path with flexibility and great pay and benefits? Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today. That's progressive.com/careers. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Thank you, Matt. And here's your forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Increasing clouds tonight with lows down in the low 30s. We'll see rain move back into the picture by Wednesday afternoon and night. There's potential for some snow to mix in. If it holds together long enough, can't rule out a light accumulation with highs in the lower 40s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel. These characters are weirdos. So let's rock it!
My name is Nigel Guy Relford in for Hammer. Happy Thanksgiving week, everybody. I'm a little confused, Guy, because leading up to the most recent election, I was told Donald Trump, President-elect Trump, that is, was racist, misogynist, all sorts of phobes, all sorts of ists, authoritarian, dictator, totalitarian, is going to kill women. Like I remember Mika Brzezinski going on The View crying that said that Donald Trump is going to kill women and going to put, other journalists say Donald Trump's going to put them in jail. And yet somehow Donald Trump won the popular vote. I'm not just talking like the Electoral College. I'm talking like we're talking 7-8 mil.
By several million.
And so
votes.
I'm just really confused, the media narrative leading up to the election, because even this poll right here, done by a legacy media outlet, CBS News, by way of YouGov, or maybe it's vice versa. No, CBS News, they conducted by YouGov. Listen to this. Americans strongly supportive of President-elect Donald Trump's plan to enact a mass deportation program upon taking office. So that's one poll. And we'll get back to that in just a second. The other poll here. President-elect Trump's favorability climbed 6 points after he was elected president. Favorability climbed 6 points. Now, this is not the CBS poll I was talking about. That has to do with deportations. We'll get to that.
Right.
But 6 points. This is a poll by Emerson College. President's favorability rating hit 54%, up 48% from pre-election, and most favorably by men, 61%, 48% of women view him favorably. Which, again, I was told, I thought women didn't like Donald Trump. They were patronizing and to women on the Kamala Harris side. And, again, the narrative right out the window.
Yes, exactly. Fascinating to me that it went up specifically after the election. In other words, what is it just about being elected that made his approval rating go up? I think it was because he was very gracious in the win. And I think it's also a sense of relief in a sense of people understanding that now, and as I've said several times, the adults are going to be in charge in Washington again. He started naming his cabinet. We started seeing who was going to replace some of these knuckleheads we have on the cabinet now and in charge in Washington. And I think people have a general sense of relief. And that picking up 6 points just by being elected, that's very significant to me.
And it was a mandate. I mean, that election was a mandate by the citizens of the United States, like, especially when we're talking about illegal immigration and the disaster at the southern border and how it not only affects Americans, don't forget about, but just, when you're talking about people that have been murdered by these criminal illegals like Laken Riley, his or her attacker, her murderer was just convicted. He's going to spend the rest of his life in jail on the taxpayer dime. Again, probably living a better life than he ever would have in a Venezuelan gang in his home country. But Americans strongly supportive, according to CBS News, of Donald Trump's plan of mass deportations. 45% say that Donald Trump's effort to deport immigrants who are here in the U.S. illegally should be, quote, high priority. 45%, 28% said it's medium priority, 27% says it should not be a priority. Again, a mandate from the American citizen that Donald Trump get in here and start to clean some of this crap up right now.
And what an indictment of the prior administration.
Oh.
In other words, where they were so blatant about having open borders.
Yes.
Not only having completely open borders, because the numbers were off the charts. And the Border Patrol people would come out and substantiate that and give numbers of the illegals flowing into this country. And then not only did that administration have completely open borders, they would turn around and lie to the American public and say, oh, no, the borders are secure. Well, it's as secure as you want it to be, which is not at all. And so the fact that we were at 70% in this poll say it's a priority, either a high priority or a significant priority for this administration to fix that immigration problem, that's not only a complete endorsement of Trump's primary, I think, plank in his platform going into this election, but it's an incredible indictment on the prior administration.
And not to mention, it's horrible for the people that are trying to cross this border illegally, especially the children and the trafficking, and again with the fentanyl and the drugs pouring through. It's horrible for everybody, and the system is set up. I can't blame somebody from wanting to come here illegally from a crap country, because the system is set up that way for them to do so. You just go to the border, knock on the door, fill out the online app on your phone, and boom.
That's
You're
right.
here. And the cartels know this, traffickers know this, and they know how to do it, and they billions of dollars on this. It's surprising to me that after all the ghost flights and after all the illegal flights, they are, as far as I'm concerned, illegal, flying these illegal immigrants into Chicago, New York City, Arizona, California, And the governors of these states are saying, hey, we can't handle this. The mayors of these so-called sanctuary cities all of a sudden are saying, hey, we can't handle this influx of illegal immigration. Now, all of a sudden, Donald Trump is in power again. This was happening when Joe Biden was, quote unquote, I know he's still president, technically. But now you have the mayors and the governors saying, oh, we will not obey Donald Trump's mass deportation laws. We will not obey any, like Denver mayor, for example, Mike Johnston got into some trouble saying he's going to go to jail over his opposition to President-elect Trump's plan to execute a mass deportation. Now, here's President-elect's incoming border czar, Tom Homan, former ICE director. I mean, this guy's a badass. I'm not going to put up with it. Here he is reacting to those comments from the Denver mayor.
I find it shocking that any mayor of a city would say, President Trump's been clear, we want to concentrate on public safety threats and national security threats. I find it hard to believe that any mayor or governor would say they don't want public safety threats removed from their neighborhoods. I mean, I don't know what the hell is going on in Denver, but we're going to go and we're going to fix it. If he don't want to fix it, if he don't want to protect his communities, President Trump and ICE will.
And by the way, one more clip here, and I'll let you react, Guy, is the Denver mayor did say, he's like, hey, I'll go to jail over this. I don't care. I'm prepared to go to jail for standing in the way of policies enacted by President-elect Trump. I'm going to go to jail. Here was the new border czar, Tom Homan's response to that.
If you're a sanctuary state or city, are you breaking the law?
You're absolutely breaking the law. All you have to do is look at Arizona versus U.S., you'll see these breaking the law. But look, me and the Denver mayor, we agree on one thing. He's willing to go to jail. I'm willing to put him in jail.
I mean, is that what it's going to take? Is that really what it's going to take? Should it take that? I think it should.
I'm okay with it.
You're out and out saying, I am not going to comply with the President of the United States and his orders to protect the public and begin deportations. And I don't think they're going to go after the hardcore guys first. It's not like they're going to. I'm just saying the priority here for the United States and Donald Trump, and he said this, are the criminals that are here. Illegal, the guys that have committed crimes.
Yeah,
that keep on coming back over and over and over and getting released.
But keep in mind what this Denver mayor is saying. He's not just saying he's going to defy President Trump's order, because all President Trump's doing is saying we're going to start enforcing current immigration law. These are laws on the books passed by Congress. So what his orders are simply to enforce existing laws. So he's not just defying the president, he's defying the law that we're now going to start enforcing for the first time. And by saying, I don't care what federal law is, I'm going to stand up to that in my town. It's no different legally, Nige. It's no different from him saying, I don't care whether it's illegal to sell cocaine and fentanyl and heroin under federal law here in Denver. I think those ought to be legal, so I'll go to jail if I need to because I want to defend the heroin trade here. Legally, there's no difference between those two things. And so he wants to go to jail over that. Great. Send his butt to jail.
Guy, a 33-year-old dude in Missouri, was arrested after he stole a shopping cart full of Red Bull from a grocery store. Led cops on a high-speed chase. They knew who he was because he'd done it before. He'd been caught shoplifting multiple times, and it's always Red Bull. It's got, theft, fleeing, driving on a revoked license. That's interesting, don't you think?
Well, yeah. I mean,
Red Bull is he selling it on the black market?
Well, no. I mean, he has a shopping cart full, right? And he's trying to get away with a shopping cart full of Red Bull. Nigel, this guy is actually an innocent victim. He's actually an innocent victim of a deceptive marketing campaign by Red Bull. Because I'll guarantee you what this guy believed with a shopping cart full of Red Bull was Red Bull was going to give him wings.
There it is.
Red Bull was going to give him wings. He was going to be able to fly away, escape. I've seen it. How many times have I seen it on TV? And so the guy's an innocent victim, I'm telling you right now.
All right, Matt Bear, my man, what's going down?
What's happening, Nigel? Looking at the west side, crash clear. Southbound 465, still stop and go traffic. Rockville Road down to I-70. And looking at the west side, another crash on eastbound 70. That's after Tibbs. It's blocking the left lane, slowing traffic back to Holt. And after the crash, you are stop and go into the south split stop. Another delay to contend with. Looking at the north side, eastbound eastbound 465 stop-and-go traffic from Westfield Boulevard past Keystone Avenue. Crash clear. South side eastbound 465 after 31. Still traffic jammed back to Harding Street. Crash south side, South Keystone Avenue at Epler Avenue, and a crash in Lawrence, Sunnyside Road at Penn Pike. Traffic sponsored by BJ's Wholesale Club. BJ's Wholesale Club is now open in Carmel. At BJ's, members get up to 25% off grocery store prices every day. Visit bjs.com/Carmel or the brand new club located at Rangeline Crossing to join today. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Coming up next, Guy, if you don't mind, you were telling me a story off the air about how you were swatted once. And because we had a call about that earlier last hour. We do an Ask the Gun Guy segment. Somebody got swatted. And I want you to define that for me and tell me your story next. It's a pretty amazing story. You didn't want to stick around for this. It is 43 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center, 93 WIBC.
If you're looking for a deal that can't be beat, get over to the friendliest folks you'll ever meet at Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield with Black Friday deals running all month long. Now's the time to save big or let them come to you. With Ford Mobile Service, expert maintenance is just a call away, so you can put more time back in your day. Get it, Andy Moore? More time? Schedule your service easily through the Ford Pass app and get oil changes, tire rotations, and more right at your doorstep. And check out the selection. Head down to Andy Moore Ford and explore top picks like the rugged Ford Bronco and the all-electric F-150 Lightning. Trust me on the Lightning. These things are fantastic. Seating for up to 5, intelligent backup power, onboard power for all your tools and gear. This all-electric truck is built for adventure, work, and everything in between. Shop Black Friday deals now at AndyMooreFord.com. That's Andy Moore Ford, M-O-H-R. AndyMooreFord.com.
This Christmas, as you're picking out gifts for loved ones, take a moment to think about the future gift you can give yourself. The gift of a secure retirement. Howard Bailey Financial is here to help you unwrap the possibilities of peace and confidence. With our free retirement toolkit, you'll get practical steps and insights to plan for the years ahead. From saving strategies to planning tips, this toolkit is like a financial compass for your future. And best of all, it's completely free to download. Don't wait until next year to start planning. Text GIFT to 888-262-1104. Download your free retirement toolkit and give yourself the gift of financial confidence this holiday season. That's GIFT to 888-262-1104 to start planning today. Howard Bailey Security, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
Pat Sullivan here, and the holidays are right around the corner, which means all the food prep in your home and then scraps and leftovers thrown right down the garbage disposal. Don't let a clogged kitchen sink ruin your holiday spirit. Consider upgrading your garbage disposal before it's too late. Call my friends at Hope Plumbing today for a premium garbage disposal and get $100 off. Leave the dirty work to Hope Plumbing. Visit hopeplumbing.com for all their holiday specials today.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. GI Bill, SkillBridge, and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Mommy, want to play a game with me and Dad?
Mommy's not feeling good.
You need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with Dayquil VapoCool. It's Dayquil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
Come on, honey. Let's let Mommy rest.
You guys are amazing. And so is Dayquil VapoCool.
Dayquil VapoCool, the vaporizing daytime coughing, aching, fever, power through your day medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
We've seen that sleep apnea bully stop breathing more than 100 times an hour. But this problem is solvable, and Advent has simple solutions that have been proven to be extremely effective.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Avoid Black Friday frenzy at Sullivan Hardware and Garden with donuts, coffee, and mimosas early on the 29th while saving big. Shop, play, experience. Christmas with Sullivan's.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's jewelry experts.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
2 words. It just rocks. Wait, what?
93 WIBC.
I'm Nigel. Guy Relford is filling in for Hammer. He's a Second Amendment attorney, licensed firearms instructor. Always like having you in here, Guy. Happy Thanksgiving to you. And we were talking earlier actually, it was a segment last hour, Ask the Gun Guy. Somebody called in and said their relative got swatted and started asking you some questions about that. You've been swatted before, is what you were telling me off the air. I was kind of, I don't know if you told the story on the air or not, but can you, what is swatting real quick? How did it happen to you?
Yeah. I'm not sure I have talked about it on the air. It was in the news. It got a lot of news in Carmel, but I believe it made the Indy news as well.
That's where your office is.
Yeah, my office is in Carmel. And swatting is where you make a false report, typically through a 911 call, and your design, your goal is to have police officers, even the SWAT team, show up, and
not at your house, not at the caller's house, but somebody else's
at
residence.
Someone
or business
you've targeted to be swatted, and the term means you're intending the SWAT team to show up and then arrest that person. That person resists arrest, or there's some confusion, the person can get shot, arrested, killed, who knows, by responding law enforcement. So like if I wanted to swat you, Nigel, I could say, Nigel is at his home in Zionsville, and I give him the address, and he's holding his whole family hostage. He's got a gun to their head. He's going to murder them any moment. You guys got to get there, as soon as possible. He's going to murder them all any second.
Yeah.
And you're trying to create that urgent situation where the SWAT team rolls out and just hope there's some confusion or whatever. And at a minimum, just disrupt your life, but potentially cost you your life because, you don't know what's going on. They're not sure what they see when they show up. Confusion reigns. You get shot, you get, hurt, whatever. So that's swatting. But what happened to me is that I got to my office one morning there in Carmel, and I'm right there at the main intersection, Range Line and Main, and on the first floor, and I'd just been there a few minutes, and I saw several Carmel police officers walking in through the lobby toward my door. My door's glass, so I could see them on the other side, and I knew half these guys. There was like 4 of them, and so I wave at them, going, hey guys, what's up?
They had their hands on their guns.
Yeah, and they were open for business. I'll put it that way.
Okay.
They had they had the retention devices off their holsters.
And you're like, okay.
And I didn't see any guns drawn because these guys are professionals and they did a great job. But, they saw me, and I waved at them and waved them in. Come on in, man, what's going on? And they said that they had a bomb threat where somebody had called 911 and said, I'm in Guy Relford's office. I'm sitting at Guy Relford's desk, and I'm about to blow up this MF building because I have a bomb in the building, and I'm going to blow the place up. Well, he wasn't sitting in my desk I was sitting at my desk in my office. So I guess the intent was that officers were going to show up, see me sitting there, think I'm a bomber, and then who knows, confusion can reign. Yeah. And that's a scary thing. Like, if somebody swats you, you're at home, it's night, all of a sudden, there are people outside your home running around. You've got a gun, they've got guns. It's easy for people to get hurt in that situation. In mine, it was never a risky situation because of the incredible professionalism of the Carmel Police Department. They saw me sitting in there. I waved at them. They came in. I said, have you been here all morning? And I said, no, actually, I just got here about 15 minutes ago. Anybody else in your office? No, you're welcome to look around. But they were incredible. They
took them a couple hours to.
Oh yeah, they brought
sweep.
the bomb sniffing dog out. They had drones up in the air. They blocked off the street like 2 blocks in either direction, in all 4 directions. And I said, do I have to leave? And they said, well, you don't have to, but we strongly recommend it since there's a bomb threat. And I was like, oh, hell no. You know what terrorism is? Terrorism is when you get terrorized. I refuse to be terrorized. To hell with this. I said, no. I said, you know what? I'm going to sit right out front of the office because I've got what I call my cigar chairs right in front of my office, right up against the window. I said, I'm going to go smoke a cigar. So I took my coffee out and I smoked a cigar. And they were there for a while. They cleared the building. And it was interesting because the call came from, they said, a Kansas number.
Yeah.
The original 911 call. One of the final officers there came up and said, hey, we didn't find anything. It was obviously a hoax. We're going to take off. Right about then, my phone rang because I had my office phone forwarded to my cell, and it just said Kansas call. And so I showed it to the officer, and I said, I'm getting a call from Kansas right now. And he goes, answer it on speaker. So I did. And it was some guy I don't know if it was real or fake. I think it was fake. He was trying to sound like he was from Middle East.
Okay.
And he was threatening to kill me, threatening to blow me up.
On the phone now.
Oh yeah,
on your cell phone now.
And the officer's listening to the whole thing, and I'm looking at him. And at one point, this guy goes, "I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill your family." And I said, "Only if I don't kill you first, MF." And at which point the officer kind of looked at me like, "Oh, really, dude?" And I was like, "I'm not going to sit here and get threatened by this guy."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Take your best shot."
And we got about a minute left here.
Yeah,
They never were able to trace it to who it was.
Well, what they figured out was there's a webcam right outside my office. It looks down on that main intersection there in Carmel at Rangeline in Maine.
Yeah.
And it used to be that my office sign says Law Office of Guy Relford with my phone number and website was right in the foreground of that. And they think it was some knucklehead who just, for whatever reason came across that webcam.
Like Google Earth or something like that?
Yeah, it's called EarthCam.
Oh.
And they think they saw that. And they actually went to the owner of the camera and said, can you adjust the camera so we take the business signs out of it? And they did. And so you go to that EarthCam now, and you don't see my phone number.
Somebody halfway across the world was looking at that and laughing their
they did that
at the police
because there was a mass shooting scare at the store across the street a few months later. I think they were doing the same thing off that webcam.
Okay, coming up next, legal expert, another defense attorney guy out of Texas, Jeremy Rosenthal, friend of the show, going to break down exactly what happened with Donald Trump. Another victory for Trump. All those federal charges against President-elect Trump dropped. Details next, right after the news.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It's not safe. 42 degrees with clear skies downtown. Your radar clear of any rain. Low of 36 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:29. Someone's been throwing rocks and baseballs onto Interstate 65 in Johnson County.
Somebody has picked up a bad habit or a group, and they're going out to do this, and this could be a huge problem and can cause the death of someone out there on the interstate.
Johnson County Sheriff Dwayne Burgess says no one's been hurt, but they have seen as many as 100 baseballs and softballs scattered along the interstate. They're trying to find the suspects responsible. Some cars, if you're wondering, have been damaged. President Biden is announcing a ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah.
Under the deal reached today, effective at 4 a.m. tomorrow local time, the fighting across the Lebanese-Israeli border will end.
Biden has said the deal was reached with help from France, ending the fighting in Lebanon. Hezbollah and Israel have been at conflict in Lebanon since Hamas attacked October 7th of last year. Former ICE Director Tom Homan's visiting the southern border in Texas today to meet with Texas Governor Greg Abbott.
Don't test us. The nation wants a safe country. We've had enough crime in this country, illegal alien crime. It's time to end it and stop it.
Homan is expected to be put in charge of the nation's borders by Donald Trump once he is in office this January. Abbott and Holman each spoke today about the strategy of limiting illegal crossings into the U.S. Indiana Governor-elect Mike Braun has promised to make changes to how the government operates. Ryan Hedrick reports on what your current governor's saying about it.
You might have heard Braun talk about restructuring when he was elected. Basically, he has the power to reshape the government the way he wants it to run, just like Governor Holcomb did when he took office.
I made some changes in the cabinet composition, how we meet, where we meet, how often we meet, what the oversight is. So did my predecessor, the former Vice President Mike Pence.
Holcomb said he changed how things were done to match his military background, which he said worked for him at the time. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
There's now a microgrid in Fort Wayne. It has more than one local power source and can be connected to a national grid while also operating independently. Matthew Wirtz is the Fort Wayne Utilities Deputy Director.
If something were to happen to our power provider, we can basically operate on our own for long, extended periods of time.
He tells Inside Indiana Business the system automatically assesses in real time which source of power is most efficient, and it uses it. With traffic at 531, what's going on, Matt Bear?
Harrison West Side, southbound 465, still stop-and-go traffic from Rockville Road down to Sam Jones Expressway because of an earlier crash. Also, there's a stall on the exit ramp from southbound 465 to Rockville Road. The ramp is open. West Side crash eastbound 70 after Tibbs Avenue on the shoulder, causing stop-and-go traffic to Holt Road. After that, eastbound 70 continues to drag from Belmont into the south split. Inbound 65 stop and go from the White River to Meridian Penn, and that is a delay time of 13 minutes. Looking at the north side, eastbound 465 stop and go from Westfield Boulevard over to Allisonville Road. Crash north side Keystone Avenue at East 56th Street. Traffic sponsored by Sullivan Hardware and Garden. Are you ready for Friday Frenzy? Join us Friday from 7:30 to 9:30 a.m. for donuts and coffee at Sullivan Hardware and Garden in Allisonville, Home and Garden by Sullivan. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Thanks, Matt. And here's your forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Increasing clouds tonight with lows down in the low 30s. We'll see rain move back into the picture by Wednesday afternoon and night. There's potential for some snow to mix in. If it holds together long enough, can't rule out a light accumulation with highs in the lower 40s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hey, it's the Hammer and Nigel show. I'm Nigel. Guy Relford filling in for Hammer. It was breaking on this show yesterday. All those federal charges for President-elect Trump dropped, dating back to 2020. There's a federal judge overseeing the election case with the January 6th stuff and the classified documents as well. And this federal judge dismissed the charges upon request from the DOJ special counsel, as Donald Trump calls him, the deranged prosecutor, Jack Smith. Here to help us break it all down, make sense of it all. Friend of the show, legal expert lawyer Jeremy Rosenthal he was a prosecutor before becoming a defense attorney in Texas. Mr. Rosenthal, counselor, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you today?
So, who is Jack Smith? And maybe talk a little bit about walk us through the charges that were filed against President-elect Trump, and then we can make our way to maybe how these charges ultimately were dismissed.
Right. Jack Smith is what's called a special prosecutor. The way he's a career prosecutor, always has been, and a former U.S. attorney. And now what the special prosecutor does, the way that they work, is that they are hired essentially by the Justice Department, and they build kind of what you would call a firewall between the Justice Department and him. And the theory is that a special prosecutor and independent counsel can make decisions independent of the rest of the executive branch and sort of depoliticize, if you will, some of these types of things. You've heard of special prosecutors or special counsels throughout the years, kind of the same thing. You had the one in the Clinton case, Ken Starr, for instance, is probably the most famous one other than Jack Smith. So in essence, I mean, you've got a real issue because the Department of Justice is the executive branch. Yep. And what happens when we have the executive branch who's getting in trouble, right? So how do we deal with that, right? Because there's the potential for self-dealing and saying, well, don't investigate me. I'm the head of all this. Just go away. So there's always these things. Now, you had Jack Smith appointed here in this instance, even though Donald Trump wasn't the president, Joe Biden was the president. Biden wanted to distance himself from these types of decisions, right? Did he do that successfully or not? That's for the public to debate. But that, in essence, is who Jack Smith is. And he's a very good lawyer, a very competent lawyer. You can criticize a lot of things about Jack Smith, but he knows what he's doing in a courtroom. I mean, the guy's a baller, as we would say, right, at Assembly Hall. Right. He is,
I understand. Yeah, Merrick Garland would not have appointed him to go after Trump if it weren't for his prowess as a prosecuting attorney.
That's right. He knows where the light switches are, right?
Sure.
In the courtroom. He knows how to work that thing. The charges that have been brought against President-elect Trump and to reset everybody. Obviously, there are 4 criminal cases, or were 4 criminal cases against Trump. 2 of them were state prosecutions. One in Georgia that's still sort of in the mud. One of them in New York State, that's the hush money case where they have delayed sentencing indefinitely.
Right.
And then the two that Jack Smith handled, one was the documents case in Mar-a-Lago. In that instance, that's where the FBI came and raided Mar-a-Lago. I think it was 2021, 2022 in there. They had a bit of a tussle between the National Archives, who handles classified documents, trying to get documents back from Donald Trump, and the Department of Justice. Jack Smith alleged that Donald Trump mishandled these classified documents, tried to keep them, tried to retain them. Who knows what, right? We never really got I don't think that obviously never made its way to the courtroom, so we don't know exactly the full extent of what those allegations were going to be. The January 6th prosecutions, again, would be Donald Trump's, the accusations against him leading up to the January 6th riot and activities sort of therewith, right? And,
yes.
and that one's a lot muddier because you also have, well, okay, you tried to bring fake electors, you tried to do this, you tried to do that, and did you instigate this riot? Did you not instigate this riot? That would be the January 6th prosecutions. Now that we have sort of set the table, Jack Smith being the federal prosecutor in the January 6th and Mar-a-Lago cases, those have now all been dismissed. The Mar-a-Lago case actually had been the trial judge in that case, Aileen Cannon in Florida. She actually dismissed those indictments earlier this summer. And she did so under the theory that Jack Smith really wasn't he was not approved by the U.S. Senate. And she felt that she had to. Now, Judge Cannon, I'm sorry, how much am I allowed to nerd out on this? You guys are letting me go a lot here.
You can nerd out as much as we've got about 5 minutes left. So I know, and okay. Cannon was a pro-Trump judge, right?
She was appointed by Trump.
Yeah, appointed by Trump. That's what I meant. Yeah.
Right. And right. If you depending on your level of conspiracy theory thinking here, some people, I've heard that, he appointed her to be the Southern District because he knew that if they tried to prosecute him, that she might be the judge. Sure. Well, okay, why not, right?
Well, there's lots of theories going around. I mean, the theory that Jack Smith has removed Merrick Garland and DOJ from all the politics involved is also, like they announced they were going after Trump, days after Trump announced he was going to be a presidential candidate in November of 22. I believe. So it's all, to me, it's all like, it's all optics for sure.
Oh, for sure. No, totally it is. And, and I think that what Merrick Garland and what Jack Smith would say would be like, it's kind of like, and these deals do happen where, it's every once in a while. For instance, I'll give you for instance, let's say there's a lawyer in town that everybody hates and they think he's a crook and they go, and then the DA says, look, I don't want to prosecute you. You're a lawyer. I don't like the optics. I don't like the way this looks. So get your ass and get out of town. And if you ever come back here, then we're going to prosecute you. And then the guy says, well, we're coming back. The guy says, okay, now it's on. So Jack Smith would tell you that that's sort of the face-off that they had with Trump. And then it's like Trump announces it, and then it's the chicken and the egg.
So we're speaking with Jeremy Rosenthal, legal expert, was a prosecutor, and he's a defense attorney in Texas, helping us kind of understand the ins and outs of the President-elect Trump and the charges that were dismissed federally. Why? Mm-hmm. So what was the excuse then for Jack Smith requesting the judge dismiss the charges?
Jack Smith basically said the Justice Department does not prosecute sitting presidents. And Jack Smith issued a statement that said, look, I still believe in this case. I still think that we would have won. I think we've got a ton of evidence here. Mm-hmm. And this is it's a really fascinating point if you think about it. Because a couple things, a couple points here. Yep. First off, what you had on November 5th may just be the largest jury verdict in the history of the country.
Yeah,
right.
A mandate, if you will. Yeah.
The country voted on
it.
And whether you like that result, whether you don't like that result, whether you like Donald Trump or don't like him, whether you think he should be prosecuted or don't think he should be prosecuted, the American people decided he needs to be in the White House. And for the sake of the planet, for the sake of the country, Jack Smith is if you're asking Jack Smith, would say, okay, that is why I am doing this. I am not doing this, Mr. Trump, because I think you're innocent. I'm doing this because I think it's the best thing. Now, the other point here that I think is very, very important here, too, is in the legal practice, okay, and anybody who's out driving around, hopefully still awake in Indianapolis after hearing me completely dork out, who's been through a court case knows this to be true, okay? When the court case is over, you don't get the big balloon drop and the confetti, and you don't get, like at the end of Star Wars when Chewbacca gives out his big laugh, right? You don't get that moment.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. You don't get that big moment. Okay. Everybody still hates each other, right? You have a very big contested custody battle. The loser doesn't go and say, well, you were right all along and I'm sorry, and now let's all be friends. Or if it's a criminal case and there's an accuser, right, and there's somebody who's on trial, when the case is over, if it's guilty or not guilty, the guilty guy just doesn't say, you got me, oh, shucks, everybody still sticks to their positions, and there's a lot of hard feelings. That's what you're seeing with Jack Smith, is look, this is how court works. When the case is over, everybody still hates each other. And yeah. I wish there was a way around it, but that's just how these things work.
Hey, real quick before we let you go, I could sit in here and talk to you and ask you questions about the law all day long, commercial free, Counselor Rosenthal. Trust me, feel free to nerd out. But just real quick, in about 60 to 90 seconds, I don't know if you can sum it up, but the state cases with Alvin Bragg in New York, Fannie Willis in Georgia, that's the falsifying of business records, or as you called it, the hush money thing in New York, and then the more election shenanigans in Georgia. And those waters are still muddied in terms of prosecution?
Very, yeah. So in Georgia, that thing is stuck in the mud. What happened there was that the Fannie Willis was having an affair or something like that with one of the other prosecutors.
Yep.
Judge says you can stay on the case. They appealed that up. That's where that case is. So they are stuck in the mud on that issue. Now, eventually that's going to come back to that judge, and we'll see what happens there. I suspect it will be paused at worst for Mr. Trump in that case. The New York case, you're also in a real weird spot.
Yeah.
The the jury has found him guilty, but the judge is saying, I'm not going to sentence you for 5 years. That case, I don't know that Trump can appeal that thing until that's over.
And he certainly can't pardon himself because it's a state thing, not a federal thing.
That's right. So that one, I mean, look, you have a similar thing going on, which is the prosecutors, the judge saying, okay, we're not going to undo an election here. But we're not going to let this thing go either. And really, I mean, look.
Are they going to try to put Trump in jail when he's like 83 years old and out of office?
Well, man, you know what? Look, I mean, it depends on, right? I mean, look, it's like, man, you made my taxes go up. You're going to jail. I don't know. Hopefully it's not that, right?
Mr. Rosenthal, Jeremy, legal expert, defense attorney in Texas. Always a pleasure. You're welcome to nerd out on our show anytime. And have a great Thanksgiving. I hope it begins for you early this week, sir.
Well, thank you, sir. I hope so, too. And go Hoosiers.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
It's time to pull out your holiday decorations. Do you store them in an out-of-sight space like your basement? Your basement needs to be safe and dry. If your basement is showing any problem signs, condensation, wet floors and walls, musty smells, mold and rot, Indiana Foundation Service can help. These problem signs can be an indicator that your home might be due for basement waterproofing. From wall anchors to vapor barriers and sump pumps and dehumidifiers, they've seen it all and can do it all. This includes encapsulating your crawl space too, and making that a safe space for your valuable belongings and added storage. They'll work with you to find the permanent solution your basement and crawl space needs to stay dry year-round. Just visit IndianaFoundation.com for a free inspection and no-pressure quote today. Indiana Foundation Service. There's a reason they are the trusted local experts.
Indiana Foundation Service. Reliability from the ground up.
Forget about New Year's resolutions, all right? Start now. If you know you're not getting the exercise you need, if you know your body is not getting the movement that it craves every day, try something different. Try something new. Try Exercise Inc. Exercise Inc. is a once-a-week strength training program. You show up once a week for your private 20-minute workout. It's just you and your coach. Private studios, no mirrors, no music, a totally different experience. And I love it. I've been doing it forever. It's not an easy workout by any means, but you'll feel better. I've lost weight. My clothes fit different, and I've built some muscle. So if you think you don't have time to work out, if you can't find it in your schedule to get into a regular gym, try Exercise Inc. You show up once a week. Again, it's just a once-a-week 20-minute workout, but it is worth it, and it is difficult but safe and reliable 20 minutes that will help you feel better and get the exercise your body needs and craves. And listen to this. If you come in to Exercise Inc. for a free consultation in the month of December, you're going to get 2 free sessions just for trying it out. You don't even have to sign up. 5 locations: Avon, Brownsburg, Greenwood, Zionsville, and now in Fishers. ExerciseInc.com today to sign up. ExerciseInc.com. Tell them Nigel sent you.
Nobody cares for you like family. Family Heating and Air.
We set out to be the very best of the best, and past couple years we've actually achieved that. For all of the state of Indiana, we've been awarded the Dealer of the Year award twice now. Unlike other brands, that only gets handed to one dealer every year, and we're very proud to have won that twice.
Put the best to work for you at FamilyHVAC.net. Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
A true partner in your health dedicates time to understanding your needs. At CenterWell Senior Primary Care, doctors make one-on-one time with you a priority, so you can get all your questions answered and feel more confident in your health care. See how it feels to have a team of senior care experts working together to help you feel your best. CenterWell, it's about time. Schedule a tour today at meetcenterwell.com. That's meetcenterwell.com.
In a divorce, it's important to have a partner you can count on. I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell, a domestic litigation and family law firm. We champion your rights as an individual and your role as a parent, taking an aggressive approach in court while leveling the legal playing field in domestic matters. That's what a champion does. That's what Cordell & Cordell can do for you. Visit us at CordellCordell.com.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Indianapolis area attorneys. 101 West Ohio Street, Suite 1250, Indianapolis, Indiana 46204.
Plumbing problems stink. The LD Smith Group can handle anything. Call today for $50 off any plumbing repair, big or small.
LD Smith Plumbing.
A dirty, stinking honest.
Your local Staples store has hot deals and super low prices throughout the store on everything for your business. Save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples.
She's too special for just an average gift. See Pierce Jewelers for the breathtaking sparkle in their rare, one-of-a-kind, fancy colored diamond collection. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
Matt Bear, what's going on with traffic?
Southside Nigel crash, southbound 65 at 465. Left lane is blocked. Traffic stop and go back to South Keystone Avenue. Eastbound 70 stop and go traffic before Belmont into the south split. And inbound 65 stop and go before MLK to Meridian Penn. That's a delay time of 15 minutes. North side eastbound 465. Slow from Westfield Boulevard over to the White River. Crash 56th Street at Keystone Avenue. There's a crash at 30th Street at the Monon Trail. That's going to be to the west of Dr. Andrew J. Brown Avenue. Looking at the south side, eastbound 465 jams up right around 31, and the west side, southbound 465, stop and go after Rockville Road past Sam Jones. Traffic sponsored by Sullivan Hardware and Garden. Are you ready for Friday Frenzy? And join us Friday for 7:30 to 9:30 a.m. for donuts and coffee at Sullivan Hardware and Garden and Allisonville Home and Garden by Sullivan. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
40 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center, 93 WIBC. Oh, I know. Christmas music. Woohoo! Yeah. Come on, baby. Give it to me. It's the Hammer and Nigel show. My name is Nigel. I guess Guy Relford is taking a cigar break by the looks of it out on the third floor deck overlooking Monument Circle. For those of you attending Christmas parties this year, if you happen to see like a mistletoe out anywhere, Just don't. Do me a favor. Just, especially the dudes, stop it with the mistletoe. And then some smartass always comes to the Christmas party, the office party, with the mistletoe hanging off his belt buckle. Yeah, funny, bro. According to a new study, the mistletoe is dying out at work parties. People are worried that they're going to catch a sexual harassment complaint. Yeah, no kidding. First of all, if you're a guy that tries to get off on the whole, it's the mistletoe. Give me a kiss, honey. It's a mistletoe. It's a tradition. How pathetic are you? Seriously. So please, and again, with the smart aleck that does the mistletoe above his belt buckle, that hangs it dangling there, just stop it. Here, real quick, you want to hear what it sounds like when Wiz Khalifa, one of the world's biggest rappers, is performing at a club in Thailand, and the fans start throwing money on stage at him like he's a dancer?
This guy right here, stop throwing money on the stage. I'm not no stripper, dog. Quit throwing money on the stage. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Maybe they were throwing money at you to stop performing. Did you ever think of that? More Hammer and Nigel show coming up after 6 o'clock, 93 WIBC.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, what's all this I hear about seasons free things?
Yeah, we're giving away even more than usual this season.
Free alignment with any Ford tire purchase isn't seasonal, Mike. It's free every day at Tire Discounters.
Sure, but right now, guess what else happens every day?
I know that customers can save up to $529 on Goodyear and Cooper tires.
Absolutely. Now, guess what else?
Mike, I'm a Phantom tire buyer with a secret identity. Please don't toy with me.
Okay, here's the deal.
Yes?
We're doing these drawings.
Like a game show.
And one lucky customer per day wins all their money back for 4 tires.
Spectacular! But why call it seasons free things?
You know, season's greetings. It's like a play on words.
Yes, of course it is. I knew that. It's seasons free things at Tire Discounters. One lucky customer per day wins their money back on tires. Everyone saves big on major brands. And a free alignment and oil change comes with every Ford tire purchase.
Hey, it's Rob. If you want to grow your hair back, check out the precision and accuracy of the Artist Robotic FUE at We Grow Hair Indie. You'll be amazed at the permanent natural results you can get and get back to work ASAP. Darren Andrews, Clinic Director of We Grow Hair Indie, is here to tell us more.
The Artist Robotic FUE hair transplant at We Grow Hair Indie, one of the most sophisticated hair transplant procedures available. The accuracy and the precision of the Artist Robotic FUE is what clients love the most. Get the results you want with our Artist FUE or multi-unit hair grafting procedure.
Don't wait. Call today and find out more about the Artist Robotic FUE at WeGrowHairIndie.com. Call 317-522-2995 for your hair evaluation. 317.
The holidays are a magical time to get engaged. At Shane Company, we're here to help you create your dream engagement ring in just 3 easy steps. Choose a setting that speaks to your style. Compare diamonds and colorful gemstones in all shapes and sizes. Then personalize it with a decorative crown and special engraving. Or choose a perfectly preset ring that's ready to go. At Shane Company, you'll find everyday competitive prices, a no-pressure environment, and an unmatched free lifetime warranty. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Pat Sullivan here with Michaela of Michaelis. If you have water damage, why should you call Michaelis?
Michaelis is a local family-owned Indianapolis company with 39 years experience. On call 24/7, 365. We are IICRC certified and will restore your space to pre-loss condition or better. And we work through the entire insurance process on your behalf to make it easy.
Water, storms, fire, and mold. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. Text or call 844-FIX-INDY.
More than 100 million wild animals are killed each year illegally. Poaching is a major threat to our country's wildlife. I'm Tom Barry. I'm an actor with a desire to preserve living space for wildlife. The Humane Society Wildlife Land Trust does just that. Works with private landowners to protect wildlife, to preserve natural habitats. To learn more or to work with the Humane Society Wildlife Land Trust, call 800-729-SAVE. That's 800-729-SAVE, or visit wildlifelandtrust.org. Thank you.
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio. I'm Marek Mazurek. Terre Haute-based Union Health has withdrawn its application related to its planned acquisition of Terre Haute Regional Hospital, the health system said Monday. However, Union Health has said the two parties will continue to work towards completing the deal, though an estimated timeline was not given. Plans for the acquisition were first announced last fall, but the measure soon drew opposition from the Federal Trade Commission this September. In a letter opposing the merger, the FTC said the combined health system would have a share of nearly 74% of all hospital services in the region. Union Health said in a statement Monday that it felt it was best to withdraw its application, but it will continue to work with Terre Haute Regional Hospital and the Indiana Department of Health and review the acquisition. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Today, you either innovate or evaporate. We are accelerating the pursuit of progress, from the foods we eat to the heights we soar, because this is Indiana, the innovation capital of the world. We rally visionaries across industries, investing connections as much as capital, and fuel our founders from dorm room to boardroom. Fuel your innovation with Elevate Ventures. Visit elevateventures.com.
Earlier this month, Fort Wayne officials flipped the switch on what it calls its new microgrid system, which highlights complex new technology that put the city on the cutting edge of energy usage. The system draws on a newly completed floating solar panel array, biogas, and natural gas to power the city's filtration plant, water pollution plant, and weather pump station. City Utilities Deputy Director Matthew Wirtz said the grid lets the utility switch between different energy sources depending on which is most cost-effective in real time. It also makes the grid self-sufficient, which was a big goal for the utility.
So we can now use the emergency generators to power everything if we need to. We can use the solar to power both plants, and then we can use the methane generators at the wastewater plant to power all three facilities as well. So we have extremely high reliability now.
The project cost a little over $24 million, and $10 million of that went towards the solar panels. The microgrid system could save the city from paying $8 to $10 million in energy costs over the first 20 years of use. I'm Marek Mazurek for 93 WIBC.
Coming up in a couple of minutes, rain tomorrow could end up turning into snow. Ryan Hedrick will tell you all about it. Johnson County deputies aren't happy about people throwing rocks onto the interstates, and what your governor thinks about Trump's plan for tariffs. Those stories and more all coming up after Fox News Radio from the Technology Recycler Studios. We've got clear skies downtown. Temperatures are in the 40s on a chilly night. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 6 o'clock.
Another case dismissed. I'm Tom Graham, Fox News. The 11th Circuit Federal Court of Appeals dismissing the classified documents case against President-elect Trump. It's one of two cases being abandoned by Special Counsel Jack Smith, who cited the Justice Department's policy of not prosecuting sitting presidents. Yesterday, a Washington judge dismissed the election interference case against the president-elect. President Biden is sounding optimistic about a ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas militants in Lebanon.
More than a year of conflict between Israel and Hezbollah will come to an end in Lebanon, President Biden says, after the two sides agreed to a U.S. proposed ceasefire.
What is left of Hezbollah and other terrorist organizations will not be allowed. Well, I emphasize, will not be allowed to threaten the security of Israel again.
The president says as Israeli forces and Hezbollah fighters withdraw, tens of thousands of civilians displaced on both sides of the border will return to their communities. The deal is also renewing ceasefire hopes in Gaza. President Biden says his administration is making another push to reach an agreement between Israel and Hamas.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. President-elect Trump's newly named border czar visiting Eagle Pass, Texas today, pledging mass deportations.
Incoming border czar Tom Homan telling Texas National Guard and Texas DPS troops.
Let me be clear. There is going to be a mass deportation because we just finished a mass illegal immigration crisis on the border.
Slamming the Biden administration on border security and praising Governor Abbott for state policies, saying illegal immigration is down 86% in Texas.
What you've done is not only protect the state of Texas and the citizens of Texas. You are protecting this nation.
Governor Abbott telling troops they are essential to making that happen.
Americans, thank you for your service.
Both stressing they're already moving towards rolling out stricter policies nationwide. Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
There could be another round of snow. 42 degrees with clear skies downtown. Your radar is clear. 36 is your low tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 6:02. Your holiday forecast could bring all kinds of weather. Ryan Hedrick reports that temperatures are expected to vary in the coming days.
You've probably heard by now to expect some form of precipitation, whether it's rain or snow Wednesday into Thursday. But with so many things going on, if you're going to be outside, you should know that temperatures are going to drop dramatically this weekend.
We're going to have a strong cold front moving through for the weekend, and when people are traveling back on Sunday, we're looking for a sunny day that day with only a high near 28 degrees.
Jason Puma with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says the Circle City may get some snow this weekend. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Someone has been throwing rocks and baseballs onto I-65 in Johnson County.
Somebody has picked up a bad habit or a group, and they're going out to do this, and this could be a huge problem and can cause the death of someone out there on the interstate.
Johnson County Sheriff Dwayne Burgess says no one's been hurt, but some cars have been damaged. They've seen as many as 100 baseballs and softballs along I-65 and a little bit off the road as well. They're trying to find exactly who's responsible. Your governor, Eric Holcomb, says Trump's goal with the tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China is simply to create free and fair trade by leveling the playing field.
He's gotten the attention of certain markets around the world by talking about tariffs. But I want to see more of the details, and I'm all for free and fair level playing field trade.
Trump has said he wants to make imported goods more expensive, hoping it'll encourage people to buy products that are made in the U.S. instead. He's already promising tariffs on Mexico, Canada, and China. Fort Wayne is a new microgrid system.
This is going to be kind of the evolution of the future of energy in America.
Silencio's Vice President of Sales and Marketing, Mark Fallahy, tells Inside Indiana Business that it has reliable supply of power in case of emergency, and it'll save tens of millions of dollars in energy costs while being more environmentally sustainable. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather at 6:04.
Make holiday magic this year with something beautiful and timeless from Diamonds Direct. A stunning eternity band, a pair of classic diamond stud earrings, something new and eye-catching from a world-class designer. Or maybe you're looking for that perfect engagement ring or a fabulous timepiece. At Diamonds Direct, we have the perfect gifts for the season, starting at around $500. Come and let our experts help you pick out that headliner gift. Or for some fabulous ideas, see the online seasonal gift guide now at diamondsdirect.com. You can even chat now with a virtual assistant for the ultimate convenience. Whether you connect online or in person, you're guaranteed to get the extraordinary value, ironclad warranties, and white glove service Diamonds Direct is known for. And to help make your purchase even more affordable, we've got special financing so you can spread out your payments. Get directions, details, special showroom hours, and our holiday gift guide now at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
With traffic on the fives at 6:05, here's Matt Bear.
Yeah, Harrison, Southside crash, southbound 65 at I-465, blocking the left lane, stop traffic back to Keystone Avenue. Southbound 65 to downtown, stop and go traffic from 38th Street, Kessler, down to Meridian Penn, 12-minute delay. Eastbound 70 grinding from Tibbs Avenue into the South Split for a 6-minute delay. West side stall on the exit ramp from southbound 465 to Rockville Road. That ramp is open. It is partially blocked. Traffic sponsored by Grand Appliance. Shop Grand Appliance for unbeatable Black Friday deals like Bosch dishwashers for just $347 after rebate. Learn more at grandappliance.com or your local Grand Appliance showroom. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Thanks, Matt. And here's your forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Increasing clouds tonight with lows down in the low 30s. We'll see rain move back into the picture by Wednesday afternoon and night. There's potential for some snow to mix in. If it holds together long enough, can't rule out a light accumulation with highs in the lower 40s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Do you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock!
My name is Nigel. Guy Relford is in. Jason Hammer is out. Guy, how are you?
Man, I'm great. It's a pleasure to be here, as always.
Hey, you know what? I heard at the top of the hour Harrison Silcox talking about this story out of Noblesville. Did you hear that the Noblesville schools, all the classes, all schools in Noblesville canceled today? Some social media threat was made against specifically East Middle School. And, man, that just kind of bummed me out. And probably some students were happy they didn't have to go to school today. I understand that. But, like, considering what happened at West Middle School a few years ago, Guy, with an actual school shooting where, thank God, nobody died, but 2 lives were impacted forever, the teacher and the student. And to go into Thanksgiving weekend with that hanging over your head as a parent living in Noblesville just sucks. I don't think that's, in my time and my kids in the Zionsville school system in Boone County, I don't think this kind of thing has really ever happened. Maybe it has, and I'm just not thinking of it, but there's got to be some people with post-traumatic stress syndrome, serious PTSD, after the school shooting years back on Carb Day, if you remember. And now for some knucklehead to make a social media threat, it just sucks. I hope they find it, whoever did it.
And Nigel, when I saw this story, I mean, frankly, I'm really glad you approached it from the perspective that you did, because that was exactly my perspective. It was May of 2018, and it was just a horrific event all the way around. You had a beautiful little 13-year-old girl, Ella Whistler was her name, get shot multiple times. A very positive thing that came out of the story is you had an absolutely amazingly heroic teacher, Jason Seaman. Remember this story?
Man, incredible.
Threw a basketball at the guy, charged him while he has a gun, is actively shooting. Jason Seaman charges this guy, and who knows how many lives he saved that day. And then, ultimately he gets prosecuted. He could only be prosecuted, and I don't like to mention school shooters' names for obvious reasons, but he was prosecuted as a juvenile and sent off. A lot of people were frustrated he couldn't be charged as an adult, but since nobody died, he couldn't be charged as an adult because only murder goes down as young as 13. In fact, you can go to 12. But my point in all of that is it was a horrific event. It traumatized the whole community. And I think beyond Noblesville, I live in Zionsville like you do. My office is in Carmel. It's right there.
Way beyond Noblesville.